Everybody. Hello. Welcome to Let's Talk, a call-in show on the Skeptic Haven channel. Let's Talk is a safe space for atheists, those questioning or leaving religion, and anyone that wants to ask questions and have respectful discussions. From the U.S., call us at 984-789-4787. And from outside the U.S., if you look down there, you'll see a little URL right there, which you can call us from your computer using that URL on your screen. Ain't technology fantastic?
This is Skeptic Haven. Let's talk.
Oh, jeez. Hi. Caught me with my finger digging for gold there. I'm just kidding. I was doing this. The whole like it's jammed up into my brain socket or something. Right?
I was gonna say that would be tough to get that there that much.
Poking at the gray matter.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't use it for anything else, so why not, right?
Yeah, it's going to waste anyway.
That's right. How you doing, Brentley?
Excellent, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's about time you and I got to get together on one of these things, I think.
Right? Yeah, I think this is this is the first for us together. That's cool.
We've already got someone in the chat. Atomic Punk 31. Great name, by the way.
All right. Oh yeah, Atomic Punk's great.
How's it going, heretics? You damn heretics!
That's right.
Don't make me grab my cane and yell out, "Get off my computer!"
Yeah, get off my computer's lawn. That's right.
Yeah, get off my computer's lawn. Hi, Katie. I see you.
Hi.
You know, it's funny because we did my show last night, of course, and I was built a Lego show where we just shoot the shit about politics or recent crap or whatever, or just have fun. And I built a couple of Star Wars models and stuff like that. And about halfway through the show, I'm like, shit, you know what? I should have invited Brent to come on and hang out with us.
Right? Oh yeah. Yeah, I would have loved that.
I promise next time we do a show with the Lego, or actually, you can peek in the channel any Saturday and you'll see us going. So
yeah. I didn't know exactly how to like I don't want to just crash the parties all the time, but
just kick in the Streamlab or whatever the fuck. Just kick the door out. Go, I'm coming in there, you bastards.
That's it. We're taking over the
show. Forgetting about me. I like the button you got there on the microphone. That's cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got that from my very first Pride.
Oh, did you?
Atheist. American Atheist had a tent, and I got a free subscription for that year. So that was cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I get their stuff in my email quite often, and BC Humanists and a whole bunch of other organizations send me stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Satanic Temple, because I'm a member of the Satanic Temple.
Oh, nice. I actually haven't made it into that one yet. How you liking it in there? Is it pretty good?
Yeah, I dig the stuff that comes through via email and stuff like that. Unfortunately, most of the events that go on with the Satanic Temple, I mean, I have yet to see anything go on in my neck of the woods, so it's all like across the border. And right now, I ain't going across the border.
Well, I mean, because a lot of it has to do with like political activism, right? And
yeah,
y'all are fine. Like, we're crazy down here.
Yeah, but if I tell them, oh yeah, I'm an atheist YouTuber, they're gonna go put him in Guantanamo Bay or some shit like that, right? So
right, exactly, yeah. And I don't even know if you cross the border, just especially looking like a rocker, they'll just side tackle you the second you get over the border. Like, they don't care. At this
biker.
Point, yeah, an immigrant biker. He's a gang member.
Atomic Punk, yes, I am a huge fan of anime. I actually, just before coming on here, I ran outside and had a smoke, but I was watching Shield Hero Season 3, so I love anime. So I'm basically, people often mistake me for an adult because of my age, but really, I'm actually not like most teens because I'm in my 50s. I'm just just a giant teenager. So there you go.
Oh yeah, dude, we
Yes,
just
and
watched
One
it.
Piece, Akatsuki, Leaf Village, and of course, whoops, other way, the Heart Pirates on the there. Because
Oh, yeah. That's
because
awesome.
one of my favorite characters is Trafalgar Law. So there you go.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh shit! Dang it! All my shit's falling all over the place. Neil, stop playing with your toys.
Right, dude. We just watched a really good one on Netflix called like Devil May Cry, or yeah,
Devil May Cry. Yeah, that's a good
right?
one. Dante.
Yeah, that was wow. I was impressed. Like I haven't watched a lot of anime, but that one I got completely stuck on and could not pull away from it at all. But I have really bad ADHD, so it's hard for me to sit still for like anything. So if anything holds my attention for any amount of time, it's spectacular in my mind. But I just have a hard time sitting. And
well, I don't want to scare you, but if you do decide you want to, get into the anime scene, there are some series that are fucking top notch, in my opinion. Being One Piece and Naruto are probably the top two. But I'm a huge Bleach fan too because I love the whole concept of soul reaping and stuff like that, which I think is cool.
hell yeah.
Really cool. There's tons. I even like the little slice of life romantic because they take me back to my high school days ago. Oh, yeah, I remember doing that. Yeah.
Right.
Like there's some really good ones, and season 3 I think comes out this month of My Dress Up Darling, which is a fun one. But yeah, and also Dan to Dan I think is a really cool one. The whole concept of that one is these two kids in the same school meet each other. One believes in ghosts, the other one doesn't. One believes in UFOs, the other one doesn't, but they combine their stuff for all the paranormal
that's great.
investigations and stuff. So it's really cool. It's a lot of fun.
It almost kind of reminds me of like Fox Mulder and Scully, except it was with religion and aliens and ghosts and stuff. Like,
yes.
Mulder was the paranormal one. He didn't believe any religion, and then she believed all the religious stuff, but didn't believe any of the paranormal stuff. So it was kind of fun.
Right. But if you want to start out with shows that don't have 900,000 seasons like fucking One Piece and Naruto, or Bleach for that matter, I would recommend Solo Leveling. That's a phenomenal one. It actually won, although I think Freerun should have won over Solo Leveling, although I love both of them. I just think Freerun is a much deeper story than Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling's your basic let's go into a dungeon, beat the snot out of everybody, and level up. And of course, there's always that one guy who levels up into an OP level, right? Which is like he literally becomes a god, and that's what this Jin guy comes in Solo Leveling. But it's still a phenomenal anime for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You like Landed on the Tom Punt? That's awesome. It's a
right. I was just gonna say, it's so cool. I was gonna say because like that must be a common trope. Because I was like trying to explain an anime to a friend. I'm like, yeah, it's one where the guy gets like way too powerful, and then the other one, like, I have to find him. Like, that's like 70 movies, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, oh, okay.
The typical anime trope. It's been this way for many, many years. Like Shield Hero is an example of that. Buddy gets sucked in from modern world or regular world into another world. He's given all these magical powers or sword capabilities or whatever the fuck. Or you're trapped in a game like Sword Art Online and stuff like that. Or what was the other one I just watched where the guy got trapped in a game and they had shut down the game or something. So all the characters in the game became real and actually worshipped them, which is kind of cool. Overlord. That's what it's called. Overlord. Amazing. Really good one too.
Oh, I love that.
That one's got like 4 or 5 seasons too. So I mean, if you're going to get invested, I'm giving you some names of ones that are worth getting invested in.
Okay. I was going to say
my personal favorite, my top favorite is One Piece. I'm not going to lie. It's One Piece. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, because I look like a pirate and it's all about pirates. So
right. Hell yeah. I watched the movie. I think I remember watching that. It was pretty good. It was fun.
And a lot of people think, well, anime has become. What did I think of? What?
The movie? Did you like the movie they made of it? Of One Piece?
Which one?
With the live action, the one that wasn't there like a live action one on
the Netflix series? It's a series. Yeah. I thought they did a great job with that.
Yeah, that was pretty
but
cool.
they trim it obviously because they have to for Netflix, right? So they trim a lot of stuff out, but
Ah,
what they left in was the important stuff anyways to make the story flow. So I thought they did a really good job with it, and I can't wait for season 2, but it's not going to come out till like next year, so we'll have to
ah,
wait for that. I know.
God, they make you wait so long on these things. I'm still waiting for the last Stranger Things, and I'm losing my mind. It's like,
Yeah, and I was going to say something else, and now I forgot. You
uh,
sidetracked me.
yeah, I messed you up with this. That
Oh,
question.
it'll come back to me. It'll come back to me at some point.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but there you go. There's lots of names I've dropped there for checking out the show, and
Dude, I remember when I was like 10 years old. It was before like, anime became kind of like a mainstream thing, you know.
that's what I was going to say.
What's up? Go.
I've been watching anime since I was a child. So, but the ones I watched when I was little was Star Blazers. Hell, even the little what's his name, the little robot kid, and Speed Racer and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Speed Racer.
Speed
Remember that?
Racer, Battle Beyond the Stars, or Gatchaman as it's known in Japan. Also Robotech. Gundam
Okay.
came out early, so I later in my 20s, I guess you might say, I was into Gundam and stuff like that. Akira, yeah, that's the first anime movie I ever watched. Akira, which is fucking amazing.
Well, yeah, I remember this one. I was like, guys, I swear I was like maybe 12 years old. We were little kids, and it was on Cartoon Network. And we were kind of just blown away because there was so much swearing, and then there was like, some sex type stuff, isn't it? And it was called Venus Wars. It was like this old,
Oh yeah,
it's like space, almost kind of remind me of Total Recall or something, except without all the brain, but like the way that the cities were and stuff is really cool. But we were just blown away by that because that was not normal. Like we didn't on Cartoon Network to have something like that, swearing and all that. We're just like, what is this?
must have been what, Adult Swim, right?
It was on a Saturday morning. That's why I was just like so confused.
Really?
I couldn't believe they did it. Yeah, I think it was the only time that happened because I guarantee they got a lot of complaints. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this comment right down here.
Was
Of
it?
course,
Of
God
course,
exists. The biblical God. See, that's the. If I had to say, I could say, okay, maybe there is a God, but the biblical God, forget it. Not a fucking
absolutely
chance.
not.
Not
Yeah,
a
dude.
fucking chance.
Call in, Mark. Yeah, dude. Seriously,
And
call in.
scientists today
Let's
are
talk about it.
not testifying that evolution, they're destroying the lies of evolution, because evolution is the biggest foundation of knowledge that we have that actually literally fuels the other science like biology, paleontology. All of that stuff is fueled by evolution. So it is not a lie. It is the absolute truth, whether you like it or not. You got to think too. For the first 2/3 of Earth's life, when life could be here, was single celled. It was that last third until multicellular life started to come, and then ultimately, thanks to a few events, everything evolved, and now here we are.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
to put it in a nutshell.
I don't understand their like hatred of evolution. Like, if you believe in God, couldn't your God just do it this way?
Yeah, just push the button and all right, let it go.
Yeah. Who cares? Like, it doesn't really go against their. I mean, I guess if you do in the beginning, God created the heavens and there was no time where God was like creating light and being like, oh man, the lights all stick into the darkness. This is a problem. I gotta separate this stuff. There was never that. If you are trying to have evolution be part of it, but yeah. Absurd.
So Marcus, he says, Dr. Lennox, Dr. Tour, Dr. Stevens, and many more. I just proved you a liar. No, you didn't. You made a claim that these guys are debunking evolution. Let me guess, they're doctors only in title, and they probably work for something like Answers in Genesis or some other fucking crackpot outfit.
Yeah, well, Dr. Lennox, I don't even know.
You can't disprove evolution, period. You can't.
No, definitely not. It's I mean, and people have tried a lot, and it just it does have falsifiability, but like nobody's been able to actually do it.
No.
So yeah, but Lennox, he's a mathematician, so I don't know what the hell he has anything to do with this. Dr. Tour has been just he's been debunked to death at this point, and so is Stephen Meyer. Stephen Meyer's like a completely different. I want to say he's like a totally different field. But he likes to run around and say that he's an expert on evolution and everything, and he's just not. But all of them have just basically been debunked to death and kind of pushed off to the corner of the doctor community as cranks, because they're cranks. Like they don't know what they're talking about. Yeah.
That is correct.
Except
I'm not
for
choosing
Lennox.
to ignore the facts, my friend Marcus. I'm sorry, but I'm not choosing to ignore facts. You can't ignore facts. At least I don't ignore facts. When somebody comes out and they show me something and they say, by the way, these are facts, this is knowledge, and this is how we know, and they demonstrate how they know, then I go, all right, well, you convinced me. Because I'm a chemist as well. I work for an environmental company, so it's a little different than the evolution side, but I deal with chemistry all the time, and I have dabbled and read and studied and stuff dealing in evolution, so I know it's a fact. So doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think. Right. You're choosing to ignore the facts, not me.
Right. That's the beautiful thing about truth, is it doesn't give a shit if you believe in it or not.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And science doesn't set out to prove things. It sets out to discover things using the scientific method. And that's how we discovered all kinds of things. Like, it's possible the universe may be a little bit older than we thought. They're still working on it. We'll figure it out. It's possible we might even live in a black hole. We don't know, but they're going to figure it out eventually. They don't know. Neil's a chemistry dabbler. Thanks for your support, Kip.
That's right. Dabbler. Like, calling you a dabbler. Rude.
That's
messed up. Oh, wait, that's a diddler. I'm sorry. Never. I'm mixing up my.
Whoa. Let's not turn this into Skeptic Hub. Right? Hope you're well, Kip. I know I still got to show up with some donuts. It'll happen one of these days, I promise. I'm gonna get fat when I go visit Kip.
Kind of donut thing, huh?
Krispy Kreme. He's never had them before. He may have had them since I last booked him. But I said, "Fuck, I'm bringing you some Krispy Kreme. Bringing like a dozen Krispy Kreme to him."
So good. They're the best.
And if he's not quick, he'll be lucky to get one.
Right.
So I'll be like, these are anyway.
Yeah, I just want to lay down on that contraption that you just get all the cream just all over you.
Again, we're getting kinky here. Know, right. Yeah, Marcus, why don't you call in and talk to us?
Yeah, dude. The phone number it's right there. Yeah, right there. In yellow.
What biblical facts are you talking about? Because most of the things you consider to be fact have been disproved, or not disproven, but debunked by science. So, like, the Earth is not 6,000 years old. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter how you slice it. It just comes up peanuts, because it ain't fucking 6,000 years old. It is, at their best estimate so far, it's like 4.5 or 4.6 billion years old. So, like, it's as old as a third of the universal time as we know it so far. So there you go.
That is old. Yeah.
Historical evidence. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say there's not any historical evidence in the Bible. Like, at least some of the places are real, but I don't know if any of the events are actually real. Like, there's a lot of and Kip can attest to this because he's a biblical scholar. There's a lot of throwing around that maybe some of these entities that are in the stories in the old biblical scriptures may not even be real. Which wouldn't surprise me, because a lot of religions or belief systems start up borrowing things from other belief systems because it's what people are already used to. So it's a lot easier to convince people when you're already familiar with the storylines, like the deity type hero and which Jesus would fit, right? Or things like that. So there's all kinds of things that are in the Old Testament and even in the New Testament that were borrowed from other stories. Like the flood example is the Epic of Gilgamesh, right? Where he has the whole flood story in there. They're very similar. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's like, and you see that, I mean, we've always, I feel like, taken historical, like we even did it with George Washington. Like if they did exist, even still, they make up a bunch of stories about him. Like we've had that with George Washington when like the cherry tree story, and of course they didn't say like, oh, George Washington flew away into the clouds after he came back to life after 3 days. I mean, or anything like that. But still, they would make these fanciful stories about like actual people. I don't know, like King Arthur. Was King Arthur real? I can't ever remember if he was an actual.
Apparently
person.
not. He was more of a
Okay.
legendary type figure.
Okay. See,
Or it's
and
like Robin Hood. He wasn't real either, but there's lots of holy cow, we got all kinds of I'm ignoring the private chat. So
oh shit.
oh, I see. Oh, they're just talking amongst themselves about all the stuff that we're talking about here. So
But hey, cut it, pipe down, y'all. Okay, we're the ones doing the talking over here.
oh, Michael, did you kick poor Marcus out? Oh, come on, man. I don't care what he says about us. That's no big deal. I have a shield of I'm a Gen Xer. I don't fucking give a fuck shield all over me. All right. So you can call me whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, minus slurs, I think I'd be fine, but no.
Well, it depends on the slur. Like, you want to call me a dipshit moron or whatever, then, that's like a water off a duck's back to me. You can call me anything like that, but you start getting into more, personal stuff and start calling people I care about slurs that I don't like, then I start to lose my shit.
Right. Yeah.
Which people have seen on this show. So much to the point where, and I told Dillahunty about this one time, that I got called the Canadian Matt Dillahunty one time. And he's just like, I'm so sorry. Like, don't worry, I don't even think I registered to your level yet. So
that's awesome.
Like, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, you were just on. Well, you were just on the line
a few months back
right?
with. That's
okay.
my second round with Matt, which was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do that show with him.
Oh, I bet. Oh yeah. I don't know how y'all.
Kip says I'm part of the strange brew generation.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, is epically bad, but it's funny.
So funny.
Your dog's name is Shithead. And he can fly, apparently.
God, it's been too long. I know I got to go back and watch it again. I remember I loved it when I saw it. But
oh, it's great! It's great. That hockey game was amazing, and it's right up there with another Canadian classic called Canadian Bacon.
Yeah.
Got John Candy in it, right?
Yeah,
great.
That's awesome. Oh yeah.
Neil never reads the chat. Sorry, Dave. I actually do read the chat. You know that. Come on.
Literally
giving me heart nipple boobies. What is that?
That is definitely
heart-shaped nipple booby. I don't even know, but
they are. They're heart nipple. Okay. Right. And we're demonetized. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said heart nipple.
No, heart
nipple, not hard. God damn. Okay. I gotta speak more clearly. That's the problem. Oh my god.
So what have you been on any shows lately yourself, or
no, I haven't. I've never been on the line or anything like that. I have gone on other shows and stuff, panels and things like that. I do hang out with Dr. Ben every so often on his channel over there.
Very cool.
That's always fun. Yeah, they do like trivia and games and stuff.
Yes, I've been on one of his shows with the trivia before.
Really? Yeah.
Or excuse me, or in the chat when he was doing it. I don't think I've actually ever played a trivia game.
Oh yeah.
The tribute to the life of Brian and Canadian Bacon is brilliant. Yes, agreed.
Life of Brian.
Oui, Wanja. Wolf nipple chips, oxen spleens. Yeah, you get me on the Monty Python thing and I'll be all over the place.
Right. I was gonna say that's like one of the most fun kind of movies to talk about.
So Atomic Hawk says Brentley just got his Adam and Eve sponsorship.
That's right.
Now he just can't stop thinking about sex.
That's what it is. That's the heart nipples thing. It's just, and if you have hard nipples, just go to Adam and Eve.
Hey, Ollie, what's up, my brother? My brother from the other coast.
Oh yeah. Y'all are way
Ollie
too
and I'll be
lucky.
hanging out coming in August 7th. I'll be seeing him again for the Baja Con in Sarnia, Ontario.
Nice.
Yeah, and I love. I think it's funny in my head, but I always thought Sarnia was like the Canadian version of Narnia. I thought, well, shit, all I got to do is go to Canadian Tire, buy a wardrobe, put some furs and jackets in it, and then walk through, and I'd end up in Sarnia, Ontario.
That's right. Yeah.
But apparently that doesn't work. I hit a wall. That was it. I just hit a wall and got covered in boats. So what do you know?
Try it again. Get a different wardrobe or something. I don't know.
It's gonna be an old English wardrobe, right?
Yeah. That's right. I don't know. That's funny. Sarnia.
I don't know. Well, you were on my show recently.
Yes, I was. That's
a few
right.
months back, right? Your first time too. And I honestly, dude, I'm surprised I hadn't had you on earlier because I've known of you for a while. So I'm surprised I hadn't had you on earlier.
Right. Yeah. No,
now,
that was.
I was got to wait a year and a bit before you can come back for a return show, which Dr. Ben will be doing in July or August, I think. Yeah, August, end of August. Dr. Ben will be back on.
No shit. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it is always fun. I love watching your show just because it gives you like this idea of like how people deconstruct and like kind of like what the process is like. Because a lot of times it's not just what's going on in their mind; it's like what's going on in the world, and then their reaction to that, as well as just their arguments and just coming across Bible verses where you're just like, are you fucking what the hell, like stuff like that.
Oh, there's lots of those.
Would you say that there's like a specific one that had that you've heard multiple times from your like travels with talking to people deconstructing that, like when they're like, oh, I didn't realize slavery was it or something like that? Do you have any that you can think of?
No one's really brought up specific passages, but just from listening to other stories and stuff like that, like some of the ones that I think that which make me think that all of this is just absolutely brutal is the dash their infants against the rocks. Like what kind of an entity that's all loving would command that, right?
Right.
Even though it's Old Testament or whatever, but still. Or is it? No, I think it's New Testament. Psalms, right? Is Psalms old?
No, it's Old Testament. Yeah, Psalms is old.
Yeah, it's Old Testament. That's what I thought.
Well, and it's like
I was raised Jewish. I should know this.
Oh, you were raised Jewish? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I have an interesting, unique-ish, not really unique, because I'll guarantee you there's thousands of other people out there that have my sort of situation. I was born to a Catholic couple, but they were like 16, 17 years old. And if you have children out of wedlock, that's a huge sin. So they didn't even, like my grandmother on my dad's side of the family didn't even know I existed until the year 2000 when I met them.
What? Really? Because they were like that. They were like that.
She was super strict.
Wow.
She was very strict. However, after I met her, the first day I met her, meeting her and chatting with her for a bit, and she's all like, "Oh, you've turned out to be a great young man," yada yada, and all this sort of thing, which is huge praise coming from my grandmother on my dad's side. I was talking to some other people that were hanging out, all family members that I was just meeting for the first time, etc. And I turned around and I saw her crying. So I turned and I walked over to her and I gave her a great big hug and I said, "What's wrong?" She goes, "I really wish things would have been different. I wish I wasn't as strict as I was in the day. I wish I wasn't so hung up on stupid things and meaning, the extremism of what Catholicism can be." Yeah. So I said, "You know what? Things were what they were. I'm not excusing anything like that, but you don't have to be upset. I'm here with you now."
Right.
So
that's what matters.
That's what matters right now. Yeah. So
yeah,
I'm here with you now. All right. I got to know you in just this little bit. I can already feel that you're, I see where I get some traits from now. One of the funniest things I ever noticed is when I met my dad, and after knowing him for a bit, and he's great, he grabs a pair of scissors and he starts cutting something, and he has this weird little habit that I have, and I'm sure other people have it, but there's this like autonomic response when I'm using scissors. I kind of go,
Oh,
with
you
my mouth.
mouthed
Like
it.
yeah.
Like, look, guys,
Like the
with me
scissors are
all
eating
together.
me too. Right. And I saw him doing it, and I
Lip
went,
sync.
"That's where I get that from." He's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" It says, "You're using scissors and you're going, and I do that too." And he's like, "I don't do that." And I go, "Yeah, you did. I just fucking watched it."
You just did it. It's like, that's
So I thought
awesome.
that was kind of funny. Just
That's
weird. But
funny.
this is the little weird things that come through in genetics, I guess. Who knows? Maybe I'm
Right.
off on that. I
That
don't
isn't-
fucking know. But
That is an odd genetic thing. Like, you might survive better if you mouth scissors.
no. It's
It
just
might
weird
help
traits, I guess,
at
that
some
stick
point.
through.
Evolution.
But well, recently they've discovered that a lot of our habits, a lot of our behavioral traits come from generations of genetic links.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that makes so much sense,
So-
though. Just given, all the alcoholics in my family. Yeah, they're definitely my grandson. I'm that grandkid,
Actually, I think we sidetracked off of a story we were talking about earlier, but at my age, the memory doesn't work so good.
That's right. I haven't even gotten there, and mine sucks. Holy shit. I forget as I'm talking. It's amazing.
That's all right.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, hello everyone in the chat. Yeah, we don't have any callers yet.
Covering Southern
Don't mouth
Baptist. huh?
scissors. That sounds dangerous. What about in the Bible where the sword comes out of God's mouth or whatever? What about that? Does that not sound
That's
dangerous?
Sword tongue. Sword tongue
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah.
Just Joker
Yeah,
in
that's
his
right, that's
face.
right.
No, it's
Actually,
gonna have
just
cuts
did,
all on his face.
I did some voiceover work for a friend for a book that she wrote where sword mouth Jesus is in the book too, which is kind of funny. And I got to do the voice of God, which is fucking so hilarious. But
Oh, that's perfect.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And her mom, who does all the recording and editing and all that, she goes, "You know what? Your voice is exactly how I pictured God's voice to be," because I put it at a little bit lower register for God, right? But I was trying to sort of recreate that old 50s, fucking Ten Commandments movie with Noah and Moses.
Oh,
and
right.
right? So
His voice was in it, right? There was a God voice in that movie,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, when
Like,
he was the
Moses.
burning bush or whatever.
Right, that's what it was. The burning bush. Jeez. My God.
Soul
So
Calibur
much of that.
character.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Soul Calibur. Yes,
That's
that
awesome.
is perfect.
Well, come
Oh,
on. I got to have somebody call in, try and convince us that there's a God. Spoiler,
So-
you probably won't. But
And probably not, but
I'm
you can
open to
try.
being convinced. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, me too.
You often hear conversations about, well, you can't really prove that there is or isn't a God. And I say, well, I don't think you really fucking need to. Because if you just sit back and think, okay, well, we've had humans that have had the capability to come up with these magical, fantastical stories for at least maybe 40, 50,000 years, right? Like, who knows what they talked about around the campfire as Ugg and Thag, right? The old caveman style guys, right?
Right.
Like, maybe they were spinning stories of these spectacular entities.
Right.
I mentioned Clarence's messages. What?
They're just complaining about women, I'm sure. That was it. That was the
What?
thing.
What?
Oh, Neo Icon.
Hang on, let's see. We'll start at the beginning.
Oh.
I would like to take a few excerpts from the book of Clarence C. Jr. All right, let's go back to in the beginning. I am in the midst of my deconstruction. I'm a recovering Southern Baptist. Have mercy on my non-existent soul. Well, welcome to the club, Clarence.
Yeah.
By the way, Clarence, I do a show called Deconversion Stories. If you ever can drum up enough courage to come on and talk about that, me and my co-host Mikey would love to hear your story. Anyways, I've been watching a few atheist YouTube channels, and I just discovered yours today. I've been learning so much ever since I gave up my intentional ignorance. That's an interesting way to put it, intentional ignorance.
It is, though.
I think you may feel... Actually, I do want to talk about this, because Clarence, I think you may feel, now that you're sort of starting to get free from it, that it was intentional ignorance. But oh no, my friend. You were convinced because you had lots of people that cared about you and you cared about them. So obviously you had no reason to think that they were going to lie to you. It wasn't intentional ignorance. I won't even call it ignorance. You were just convinced of something that you started to question. And you eventually started to understand that, hey, you know what? Maybe this isn't really worth my belief anymore. I'm going to look into other things. And that probably raised even more questions. That's usually how these things kind of go. Don't ever think you were dumb or you fell for something or anything of that ilk, because it's not your fault. You were raised in a very conditioning kind of environment, a very indoctrinating kind of environment. But you had at least the cognitive skills to start to question. So that's kudos to you for that. Okay? So don't ever consider yourself to be duped. Clarence,
and the honesty it takes to be honest with yourself is awesome. That's yes, what I think a lot of people don't. They refuse to be honest with themselves about that type of stuff.
You know? Exactly. Please know your work matters. I appreciate that, because that's exactly what we do on my channel. So it's nice to hear that sort of thing. Many of us are listening. Keep listening. I didn't realize how much crap I had been dunked in until I started pulling myself out. See, there you go.
Yeah. But it's funny.
Actually, too, Clarence, you should call in. I'd love to talk to you. Go ahead. Right? Sorry, Brent.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying, like, it is funny because, like, when he was just saying that it was, calling it intentional ignorance, and it's funny because, like, and I almost immediately like agree with that, because I'm like, it's not. It's just like what you were saying. Like, it actually isn't intentional ignorance, but when you're deconstructing, it starts to feel like that, because you push back on yourself, questioning, and then it starts to feel like
how could I be so gullible, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, and you'll get mad at yourself for questioning. Like, I remember looking up stuff, like I would Google like right-wing talking point, because I was indoctrinated with the right-wing Christian and all that type of stuff. But I remember like Googling like facts, and I would like go so far past all the first ones and then go to the result that I wanted. Be like, there it is. That's the answer I was looking for. And I knew it in my brain that I was doing that. That I was like, I'm clearly looking for the answer that I want, and I'm not looking at the actual information. And so it does kind of feel like intentional ignorance while you're
I can see how it would feel that way. Yeah. Growing up, raised in Judaism, Kip, I saw the little thing there. I think we're connected on social media somehow, some way, but I will, one of those, I'll send you my actual cell number, which I don't know, you may already have it. We may have already exchanged numbers. I can't remember. I can't remember yesterday, for fuck's sakes. But anyway, yeah, I'd love to do it. I lived in Israel. I'm not too happy with what they're fucking doing right now. But anyway, this was in the 80s when I lived there. So it was long before any of this shit. But so I speak Hebrew. Well, not as well as I used to. But yeah, pronunciations, even if I can't remember, I've got books here that can help me remember. So there you go.
You and Kip could like have a full conversation between the two of you.
Well, he's saying something about how he was thinking about having me narrate his book for the audiobook, which I'd be happy to do. I love doing that. I love doing the audio work. I've been in an animated movie on YouTube that Bionic Dance did. And guess what I got to play? The Space Pirate. I've already been typecast, for crying out loud.
You have been. Like, why did they choose that? That's amazing.
Hang on, before we get too off track, I want to carry on with Clarence C. Jr.'s. So Clarence says at 5:32, Clarence said, I kind of feel like I'm home here. Well, sit by the fireplace, grab a hot cocoa. We'll do some chit-chatting. Excellent first impressions. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Kip will talk. Oh God, You Devil, best movie. The Oh God movies that had George Burns in them. Like, who doesn't love a cigar smoking God? That's fucking awesome.
That's about what I picture. Cigars, big leather chair. Yeah.
I think we got all the ones that matter there. Wow, maybe I'll send you a sample. Yeah, I do. We'll talk.
Sorry, you didn't matter. We didn't read it. Neil said
Titan Uranus is here. Hi, Titan. Apparently, I was the first one ever to say Titan Uranus's name out loud on YouTube. So
what? Really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I have a few really odd badges that I wear, and that's one of them.
I was the first one to hear that name being said out loud. That's amazing. Oh, Titan's the best. Yes.
Anyway. Tons of Mice is here too. Tons is awesome. Tons made a bunch of knowing that I'm a Lego fan, and you know how I always do the after parties. I think I showed them to you when you're on the show, or maybe not, because maybe on before I got them.
You were showing me. I know exactly what you're going to. No, go ahead though, because it is great. So,
yeah.
Tell
it. So Titan put together a bunch of Lego minifigures of me and the crew from the show. I got a couple that I can show you right off the hop. But I still think Tons of Mice is the best one out of all of them.
Yeah.
This is me. I added a couple little props myself, where I added the microphone there because podcasting and whatnot, and that's my little grabber or my cane or something. I have a blue cane, so he just used the lightsaber piece for that. And that wall that you see, the multi-stripe, those are stacks of Lego boxes, as you can see right over there.
Yep.
So they're always in view. So nothing missing, and I've tried to look for some with some horns that I could stick it out, because you see the horns here. So
yeah.
There.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And of course, Mikey, who's a big animal guy, he's got a dog and a cat and or allegedly a bird, and he's got a spider living in his Mini Cooper. So he made one of Mikey with the dog and the cat, and there's a spider down there, and he's afraid of polar bears, so he put a polar bear on the outside trying to get in. Like, you live in fucking Chicago area. Why the hell are you afraid of polar bears?
They're
when
too
I get out of the zoo.
That's funny.
He's even got Dr. Ben, who's often in there, but he likes to do the mukbang things. So he put the chef hat, and he's got the mixing stuff, and he's still got his doctor outfit on. So
that's awesome.
Funny.
Hell yeah.
And one of the producers of this show, Mr. Michael Earhart, was made into one. He's likes to write little tunes, so he's got a guitar there with him. So there you go.
That's so cool.
And
I know Michael.
Yeah, you were talking to him earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And Simply Secular Dave, who's in the chat, or was in the chat, is a big fan of redheads. So Dave's not in here, but all his redheads are.
Oh,
it's fucking too funny. Right?
Okay.
Now, my favorite one out of the whole whack, because Tons has been on the show.
Oh.
A box full of Lego mice. So it's Tons of Mice. There you go. Right there. That is fucking some epic creativity right going on there.
It's funny because I always picture Tons of Mice as just like a trench coat full of, just rat and mice, sort of. Just like that character from Nightmare Before Christmas or something.
Oh, the McKinnon one was fucking epic too. Yeah, I'll show that one, and I'll give you the backstory of McKinnon. McKinnon Mitchell is a atheist producer, movie maker guy. He's done a couple of films already. But Canadian Olliman, who I was mentioning earlier, my brother from the other coast, there's him in his snow hat and his hot knives over the fire with his dog, Boomer, there with him.
Boomer, nice. Oh yeah, it's an old dog, really.
Now McKinnon Mitchell was used to pop into the show quite often and hang out, but he would always, like, we'd be getting towards the end, I'd always be saying, all right guys, a few more minutes and we're going to bring this to a close. So then McKinnon would be like, oh yeah, no worries, and then he'd start talking about something, then all of a sudden he'd just disappear, he'd just ghost us, just boom, he's gone. Like, what the fuck, where'd he go? So this is McKinnon Mitchell's minifigure. There's nothing there. So that's fucking funny. It's probably the cheapest minifigure too.
Right, yeah.
And then of course another regular who hasn't been in as much lately, he's a financial guy. He studies finances and stuff like that. And it's Irish Sweet. So he's there with his stack of money and stuff like that. His suit and tie and stuff. That's
excellent.
And that's it. Yeah. That's all of them. So I just thought that was so fucking funny.
Hell yeah. That is perfect.
Hello, Pragmatic Crystal, coming dropping links.
Hey,
there we go. Thank you.
How's it going?
So If you look there, guys who are the deconstructing folks there, you can check out my link, and then you'll see some. That's what I do is deconversion stories. Once in a while, we have people back on the show, which is a new show we came up with called DSU, which is Deconversion Stories Update. And then, as soon as I said DSU, I go, "Fuck!" It sounds like a Law and Order show, right? So
it does. Yeah. Or like a bullshit university of some sort, like a creationist university.
No, DSU, not BSU. Come on.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, it's too close to the BSU, I think. It's
right. So it's DSU. So we open the show. The opening thing has a with me and Mikey's picture there, looking like a police thing and stuff. And then we go into the usual opening. So it's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Dave. Captive Desks, who, by the way, folks, Captive Desk will be my co-host in a little while on this show. So tune in for that one.
Really? Oh, cool. You can get some Bigfoot calls. That's what you need. If you believe in Bigfoot, well, Dave will take your call.
I'll be honest with you, Brentley. Of all of these cryptids that are out there that you think might be real, I think Bigfoot probably has the strongest chance to be.
Yeah.
Like there may, if you have to go down that rabbit hole, you may think that maybe there is some giant primate that still wanders around that not many people run across. That's just, but whether there's like a whole bunch of them, highly unlikely, because we would have seen them by now. And it is possible that there were a few, but they have now died off, and that's why we're not seeing them anymore.
Well, they're interdimensional, so they can go in and out of other dimensions. And so that's where you get
how. Okay, from what I know from quantum physics, these other dimensions, other than the ones that we can what's the word? Experience or whatever, like time and width, height, length, all that sort of thing. Right. These are the dimensions that we can interact with. Right. These other dimensions, and somehow they think there might be 11 or something around that. They're so small, we wouldn't really be able to interact with them. So,
you got to have like an Ant-Man situation to be able to get in there. Well, yeah, I don't know. Cryptids are always interesting because, like, I always feel like what you just said, like, there could be something we don't know about, right? Like, it might have just missed everybody or something, or a mutation of some sort, right? I don't know.
True.
It's not like a magical being like a god or something that just is the least likely thing to exist.
Exactly. Oh, nobody seems to be calling in. Come on, you guys. Somebody call in. All hail Bigfoot.
All hail Bigfoot.
I've been mistaken for Bigfoot. Me and Aaron Mra have both been mistaken for Bigfoot.
That tracks, actually. I can see that now.
Me and Aaron walking around in fucking Texas somewhere and go, there's a couple Bigfoots over there. Who dressed them? They look like Bigfoot bikers.
Oh, Bigfoot Bikers is a punk band name. I called it. Oh, that's it. Bigfoot Bikers. Boom. Nailed it.
See, I'm useful.
That's it. On my show.
Clarence C. Jr. said, yeah, no kidding. He says, I can write pretty easily about it, but I think I might need some time before I can speak about it aloud. The hurt is unbelievably deep, as is the anger. No worries, Clarence. If and when you're ready, my channel ain't going anywhere. If you want to talk off air, my email is 604atheist@gmail.com. You can drop me a line and we can set something up and call on the phone, even if you like. But I understand that. My recommendation is to watch some stuff by Justin, also known as Deconstruction Zone. He's on TikTok. Justin DZ, I think, is his tag there, and he does stuff on TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. He's also been on other talk shows and call-in shows as well. He's a good resource, and also I highly recommend, if you're like feeling really shitty about some stuff and you just want an ear to bounce stuff off, I highly recommend fucking stickers all over the goddamn place. These guys, Recovering from Religion. They have a huge database of folks that can help you. I support them wholeheartedly. I've been in and run one fundraiser for them in the past. They're phenomenal. I'm good friends with Dr. Daryl Ray, who started it, and they're amazing people. They're good folks, and they're there to listen, and they can help you. From what I hear from people that have spoken to their folks, they are quite the big help. So there you go.
Yeah, it's awesome that they have a resource like that for you to be able, like, literally you can call and talk to them and stuff. It's super cool.
Yeah, they're great people.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and if you ever my channel is there to help people heal from religious trauma, because we just laugh at our old beliefs and make a lot of jokes and sell sex toys. It's a good time. You just got to come hang out, and it does feel good to kind of laugh about stuff. It makes you feel a little better about it. It took, because I was in that angry, just like phase for the longest time, and the comedy channels that allowed me to laugh at my old beliefs. Whew, boy, that helped. That made me feel a lot better about everything, and so that's why I do that now.
I always tell folks that are deconstructing, because I've spoken to many. I've become friends with quite a few. I'm still trying to get Sarah to come on. She'll do it eventually. Her and her husband also are a duo of musicians. So I pop into
cool.
her TikTok from time to time just to listen to them sing and play guitar and stuff, and they're amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's a great resource as well, because she's been through it, and she is a good person to talk to when she does lives and stuff like that. But DZ is one of the better ones. And then there's Austin, who I think is co-hosting with Dillahunty tonight on the line. I didn't even know Austin knew about our fun little community until I saw him start popping up on the line shows.
Huh.
I got to get Austin on my show. I love his content. He's fantastic.
He's like real funny, right? Is that
yeah,
Austin,
he's pretty funny. He also plays two
okay.
roles. Like he plays like the MAGA people or the fundamentalists, and then he plays the other role of the skeptic kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know exactly.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's really fun. Yeah, he does
He's
good
really
stuff.
good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's always a good time chatting with Neil and Brentley. Who the hell are they? Oh, that's us.
Right. Those two weirdos. No,
those two crazy motherfuckers. Yeah. Now I'm surrounded with minifigures and One Piece bag. Oh, I also have Gene Bay. There you go. Gene Bay is another one of my favorites.
Nice. Oh yeah.
He's a fish man. And of course, Frankie. And I got Luffy on my bag over there, and I've got Brooke on my lunch box or lunch bag, I guess, because they're fucking nylon now or whatever that is. It's that collapsible shit,
Oh, okay.
It's got the kind of looks like fake tinfoil rolled in the inside, like, so it keeps things cool. Yeah. And my friend, one of the guys I work with, went to Mexico, and I said, he's like, "You want anything?" I'm like, "Well, if you can." You get those little, how they have the whatever they call it, where they have the little skeletons that look like people, like in the movie, that animation movie where the kid goes to the land of the dead or whatever. They all kind of look like that. I said, just get me one with a guitar or a microphone or something. So he said, yeah, I saw some there, but they look way too fragile. So I wasn't going to stick it in my bag and bring it back. So he got me a keychain with a little rock star skeleton guy with a guitar. So I thought, well, nice. the first little One Piece bag clip that I pulled was Brooke, who is also a great character. And I said, fuck, he's perfect to put there with that guy. So I stuck him on my lunch bag, right?
Hell yeah.
I'm a child. Like, I'm sitting here listening to fuck, I go, fuck, what am I, 12? Yes. Inside, yes. Outside, I look like fucking Gandalf for crying out loud.
No, but hey, that'll keep you young, keep you living.
Okay? You know how they say everything's bigger in Texas? I was down there and I was looking for a pair of fucking tweezers. That's the best I could do.
Holy shit.
Like monster tweezers. I'm like, holy fuck. So pluck my eyebrows with this thing. It's awkward. Yeah. Anyway.
So as long as your splinter is a full-size nail, you can get it right.
As long as it's a piece of lumber sticking out of it.
It's a plank in your own eye. Yeah. Jesus.
Justin
wild.
is my newest hero. Oh, so you know Justin? Excellent.
Oh yeah, Justin's great.
Matt D. Matt D's good people.
Mhm.
Forrest is the
Forrest.
same in person as you see him online. He just doesn't change. And apparently so am I, from what people tell me. So what you see here is pretty much what you get in real life.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Forrest.
AR says Neil's like Santa. You never know what he'll pull out of his magic bag. Yeah, I'm like what's his name there? The raccoon guy from
Oh,
Rocket. Yeah, he's got that,
Yeah.
that like black hole bag or whatever that you can pull weapons out of.
Yeah.
My room is filled with props. Let's just put it that way, right? Like if somebody says something that's kind of creepy or cringy, I can reach right there and grab one of these. So, red flag, right? Like that kind of thing, and I just toss them around there.
Oh, that's perfect.
I have all kinds. Simply Secular Dave says Neil is way nicer in real life. Well, when I'm not yelling at people for trying to spread BS, then yeah, I guess you could say that.
I was gonna say,
on my show, I'm pretty chill.
Is he being mean to me right now? Is that what it's like?
Yeah.
It's like, what a jerk right now. Look at that. That's funny.
Jer says that's what's awesome about being an adult. You can buy whatever toys you want. Or whatever toys you want to with the money from your adult job. Yeah, which is why I want that t-shirt now that it says people often mistake me for an adult because of my age, right? So
because of my
I already have the other one that says I'm not like most teens. I'm in my 50s. My mom loved that shirt so much, so she made me buy her one. I go, Mom, you're not in your 50s.
Yeah.
She goes, no, but I said, you're lucky because I'll get you one that says my 70s, which now I have to get her a new one because she just turned 80.
Oh shit. Every 10 years it's gonna be a new
right?
Shirt there.
Well, less than 2 years, I'm gonna be fucking 60, and I'm like, what?
Wow, what? That's crazy. That doesn't seem
my
right.
birthday's in October. Hint, hint. I have a Lego wish list. Anyway, so my birthday's in October. Looks like we have a call. I'll get to it in a sec. Let me check the private chat to make sure it's grabbable. Anyway, there's nothing about it that I could see. Where was I? Oh yeah. So I'm gonna have to get one that says I'm not like most teens. I'm in my 60s. So my birthday's in October on the 20th. Hinted. Anyway, and
hear that, everybody?
That's not that far away. That's only a few months. They'll be 59. So one more year and a few months, I'm gonna be fucking 60. Like, what the hell?
Wow.
Remember, kids, do everything you possibly can while you're still young, because the rest, the older you get, of course, this is obviously an illusion that we have in our heads. It seems the faster time goes. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why I did all the traveling and stuff when I was younger. I went all over Europe, and I went to Egypt, and I lived in Israel for a couple of years. Actually, I graduated high school in Israel. Wow. And I was in Lebanon. I went to Greece and Italy while I was over there. I've been to France and England and Amsterdam, and I did a whole bunch of travel. Been to South America. I went with my friend who decided he needed to buy a pair of shoes in Lima, Peru. So I went with him for that, and we were in Peru. And yeah, you get it out there, man. Yeah, that's what you do.
That's awesome. Hell yeah.
I still travel because I want to go to Japan, and I want to go to China, and I want to go to Australia, and I want to go to Thailand, and I want to, I've never done any of the Asian side of the world. So
damn. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
and my mom's like, well, I can help you with that. And I'm like, Mom, I appreciate that. But she wouldn't say no. She's chipped in $600 to my Baja trip. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to argue with you. She goes, you are my son, and I want to help you. I'm like, okay. You know how Jewish mothers can be, right? So.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They'll like sneak the money into your bag about you. Like, I told you not to do it. Then the money's in your bag.
Exactly. She's looking at me now because I've lost some weight, right? So I had to, because my doctor was like, listen, bud, you're pre-diabetic, so you better start changing things. So I don't eat a lot of junk food anymore. Don't eat a lot of fried food anymore, although I sneak an occasional thing in here and there. And she's like, that's okay. That's fine. But just, more veggies, more fruits, rice instead of, and potatoes too, because potatoes are actually not bad for you. And stuff like that. So, a little bit less red meat. I think 2 times a week I do the steak and eggs, and that's my red meat. Mostly it's chicken or fish. I eat lots of fish because omega-3s are awesome, people.
Right. Yeah. Fish is
amazing. So anyway, yeah. and there's Pragmatic Crystal with the BajaCon link over there. You can go and see who's there. Forrest Valkai is going to be there again this year. That's where I first met him, was last year there. And also Seth Anders will be there again this year, and many other great speakers. And I'm excited. Arn's not going to be there this year, which kind of makes me sad, because Arn and I have so much fucking fun when we get together. We scare people. Him and I walking down the street, people cross to the other side. It's hilarious. And that's happened to me before I even met Andrew. I was dating a girl whose roommate told me, she goes, I remember you. Because I had this long black leather coat. Well, I still have a long black leather coat. But anyway, she goes, I saw you coming down the road. You were all in black, and you had this long black leather coat and that black hair all the way down. And you had this scowl on your face. I thought you were going to kill me. So I walked across the street. She goes, but now that I know you, I was such an idiot. Because you're nothing but a giant child. And I'm like, yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah, the big teddy bear. All right, I guess we gotta get this call. Huh?
They don't charge us $400 for eggs up here, tons of mice. So yeah. All right, let's see what we got on here.
Oh,
it's like atheist, the Ark. Oh, it's Dave. Dave. I want to talk to Dave. Okay, so we have. Is it cool? I can do this, right? Yeah, of course I can. I don't care what they say. I'm answering it anyways. Dave.
What's up, Neil? What's up, Brentley? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Before we continue, I just want to say, all hail Bigfoot.
All hail Bigfoot.
Or is this this way?
Although I think
I saw Bigfoot.
You saw Bigfoot?
Wilson. It's a big wooden carving, about 27 feet high.
Oh yeah.
Video was posted on my channel. I walked all around it and everything. We made a little side trip on the way to the Ark protest. I was in Kentucky. Just got home a little while ago. 4-hour drive.
Oh wow! Did you kick Ham in the nuts for me, or
what's that?
Did you kick Ken Ham in the nuts for me? I don't want that guy breeding anymore.
We had a few people. Well, one person that was visiting the Ark came out and talked to us when we were standing out front with our signs. Nobody else came out. There were a few people drove by and gave us the finger, so I figured that they must have been patrons of the Ark.
I would have been like, "Oh, thank you! I've been collecting them. See."
Yeah, exactly.
I have a whole bouquet.
Most people were honking and waving and supporting us, and that. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was very hot. My arms are a little sunburned, but yeah, I got to meet Joe, the Kentucky atheist. I got to meet Godless Engineer and Casey.
Oh, John and Casey. Yeah, nice.
Oh, yeah, they're great
people.
Yep, they were there. Godless Granny was there.
Kelly, no way.
Wow,
nice.
very cool.
Elliot from Secular Rarity was there.
Good people.
A Big Bad Mama was there.
Good. Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Jess was there. I'm probably forgetting people. Seth showed up, who used to work there. He's been on my channel before.
Very cool.
Nice.
He used to work there. Okay, you got to connect me with this guy, because I'd love to hear some stories from when he worked there. You got to put him through with me, Dave.
Yeah, I will tell him he wants to. Yeah, no problem. I've got his.
If he's up for it.
His info. As soon as I just said hey to him and sent him the picture, he's already got it on Facebook. So great to meet Dave for all these years.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got as many selfies as I could. I took live video as much as I could.
Beautiful.
And I also, I took pictures of the Bigfoot statue and a live video of that. So they're all on my channel. You can go have a look. And as well, Chris and who else? I think somebody, but anyway, there was a couple other people making video too. So there should be more videos coming out. And they gave me the mic, and I got up on stage for a minute. I said hi to everyone.
Wow.
Great meeting everybody, just a real quick thing, So yeah, I was on stage for a minute.
I can't believe somebody gave you a microphone, dude.
Yeah.
What were they thinking?
I kid. You're
awesome. It won't be his last,
When you say Chris, we're
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about Chris
Mallard.
Mallard, right? Daily Atheist Morning
Yeah.
Show. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chris Mallard. Oh
Chris
yeah.
Mallard was the MC. So yeah, he did a great job.
Very cool.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
a
I
lot
was
of
just
great Andisa was there too.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
nice.
cool.
Great
These
folks.
just great people.
Yeah, gave speeches and everything. Oh, Ember was there.
Oh, hell
she's
yeah.
awesome
This
too.
was, we had dozens and dozens of people there. So it's really great.
Wow. That's so cool. Yeah, I was just on Chris's show the other morning, well, like a couple days ago. Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome.
He is very tall.
Really?
Who, Chris?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he is.
Very tall. Yes, he is.
Huh. I never thought.
I think he's just slightly taller than I am. So
Really?
He's over 6.
yeah, I'm 6'4".
Look up
If
to
I
him
put
a
my
little
boots on, I'm 6'5".
Holy shit. What the hell? it's like a whole head bit
Yeah,
taller
he
than
did.
me. Jesus.
He had his whole setup there. He was live streaming and everything. He had his camera set up. He had his whole studio there.
Yeah, he said he was going to do that.
He
'Cause
should
I had
have
him back
video.
on the show. So
Huh. That's awesome.
So yeah, we did our thing. Everybody gave speeches, and then we marched down to the front gates with our signs, and they held up the big banner that says "Incest and Genocide Park."
I love that.
Took our pictures and everything. So yeah, we did our thing, and we had a great. There's Ember in the chat.
There she is.
Hello,
Oh,
Ember.
yeah. Hey, Ember.
Ember's ears were burning.
Great,
Right.
great meeting Ember too. Known Ember for a while now too. So that was great. I got pictures with Ember, and I got as many. I think I got pictures with almost everybody that I could. I was going around grabbing everybody, saying "smile," snap, snap, snap. And
did you get a lot of expressions like this?
Look.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Dan Dorson.
Dan McLeod? Oh, okay.
Oh, Dan Dorson. Dourson. He put out a book called Addicted to BS. It's got Bigfoot, UFOs, Leviathan, leprechauns, etc., 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 tarot cards. So yeah, I got a book while I was there. So an upcoming video will be taking a look through that book.
Wait, now tarot cards aren't bullshit. They actually exist. You can buy them in like a deck and everything.
They scare the hell out of Christians.
You're like, what? No, never mind.
Deck?
Tarot cards or Ouija board, and they're like, "Oh, you need to get rid of those. They're gonna bring demons to your house and everything." Yeah, just
does this mean I got to throw out my Yu-Gi-Oh cards now?
Oh, it's got demons all in them, all in there, full of demons.
Ember, I will surely send you copies of pics.
They make
That's
good
awesome.
bookmarks. I like that. Tarot cards make good bookmarks. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, well, I had a
We
lot of
scared
fun with them.
somebody.
I did a stream with Robin Webster for Halloween on Joe's channel. Went through them. And then Jevem has a channel where she reads the cards and stuff. She came on, and I've been on over there with them too. And I've had a couple readings over there, so it's a lot of fun.
Oh, hell yeah. You
Yeah,
got a
I'll have
reading?
Take it for what it is,
It's fun.
I had
what
some
it is.
fun.
It's a party trick. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about things that were created a long time ago where we're a lot more gullible as a society, and people were always, life was tough back then, so people were always looking for, is my life going to get better? So we had psychics and tarot readings, and oh, you're going to get married to this wonderful lady and have 95 kids, and whatever, like things that were important to folks back then. I still have 2 tarot decks. I have the Dragon Tarot deck and the Thoth deck, which was created by Aleister Crowley. So there you go. I just love the artwork in them. They're beautiful cards.
Really? Oh, that's so cool.
I did a Halloween stream the one year, and I got out the tarot cards, the Ouija board. I had crystals, a crystal ball. I had sage.
I have a psychic
incense.
circle.
We had 2 cameras running to see if anything would move or any shadows or anything, and nothing showed up. So
You didn't do it right.
I tried really hard.
Yeah, you weren't saying the right chants. You weren't eating the right
Yeah.
food. It wasn't the right temperature. They have excuses every time it doesn't go their way.
I had a spell book and everything. You know, we were trying to get Mike to grow hair, and it didn't work.
Oh man. I want to try the body swap and stuff.
How come I'm never there for the fun stuff?
Right. Dude, I found a voodoo book one time and it had like all these spells, and there was like one that was like legit the Chucky spell where you can swap bodies. I was like, I thought that was made up for the movie.
Yeah, it is.
That's actually
No, I
body
mean
swap.
they borrow from
too.
real life stuff. So
Yeah.
what?
That was
Say that again.
I've got a voodoo book too.
No
Yeah,
shit.
I have a couple, I think, on Voodoo. I still have all my old occult books.
It all got started with Hugh Ross. Hugh Ross said that people who see UFOs and aliens dabble in the occult. Right? So this was something that was tested
quite a bit. Yeah.
So if I dabbled with all this stuff, then I was supposed to see a UFO or have an encounter or see an alien or whatever. So I did all the things. Went outside. I sat in my backyard. I looked up. I said, "Hey, come beam me up." You know, nothing.
Give me one quick second. I'm going to disappear off screen. Don't panic. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Hugh gave me something testable, which you don't often get, right? If you play with this stuff, this will happen. Right? So I said, okay. He didn't say you had to know it or do it right or anything. He said even people who like look at their horoscope or anything, just anything.
Oh God.
And you'll see a UFO. So I said, okay, I'll give it a test. So we went all out and haven't seen anything yet. Sorry, Hugh.
Infidel says aliens dabble in the occult.
I know. I was just gonna say.
We don't know, Infidel. We haven't talked to any yet.
If you know Hugh Ross, he comes across pretty moderate. Right? He is a legitimate scientist. He talks good science and everything. But as soon as you bring up demons, goes off.
Oh, really?
Aliens are all demons. Yeah, the reason we don't have any UFOs is because when they crash, they're immaterial. So they leave a hole, but you can't actually see the crashed UFO or the aliens because they're, spiritual or whatever. So yeah, it just leaves the hole in the ground, but no wreckage or anything else. So yeah, Hugh is all in on. All the aliens, UFOs are actually all demonic.
Well, too immaterial to have a ship, but it's material enough to make a hole. Just not enough to have a hole. Okay.
And I joke that the demons can't fly.
Yeah, they're not very good.
I used to dabble in that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But when I came out of Judaism, the first thing I started doing, because I even though I thought of myself as a non-believer, I just wanted to dabble in some, other systems of belief or whatever. So I got into Druidism, and I got into Wicca and stuff like that. And I even the problem is you folks just don't realize is you don't know the science of the craft.
Oh, science.
No, this isn't an actual science book, people. It's sciencey sounding words that are bullshit that they use to try to make claim that magic is real. It's crap. But I still have it as a reference book.
It's like a Deepak Chopra thing, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Quantum magic. Okay, so there's
Robin Webster used to be a witch, and I talked to her about that.
Yes,
she used to be all in with her own spell book, and
I have a few
all the stuff and everything. And it was too, when she fell out of religion and she was having troubles with her boyfriend and everything. She thought that. Maybe a love spell. She was all in for a while there.
Dude, I was just reacting to a video where this lady was saying that there's TikTok trends of all these girls doing witchcraft on boys to get them to fall in love with them, and it works.
Yeah,
according to TikTok. But
it's not hard to get a boy to fall in love with you.
I know, right?
Smile.
50-50 shot.
It's not hard to get me to, anyways.
Right.
Lift up your, you show a little. What's like in the old cartoons where you put a leg out on the road to get a ride. I'll be like,
Yeah.
all right, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, folks, that's not good
John,
behavior. So don't be doing that kind of shit.
Right.
All right, I want to address
and let you know. Wes was in the chat there, and he said, "No, why don't you call in and let us know about the Bigfoot and everything?" So yeah, I figured it was halfway to where I was going, so I figured, well, hey, I'm not that way off in anyways, so did a little side trip off of 75 and went and saw the big Bigfoot. Yeah, it was a nice straight shot right down 33, right back down 33 back to the 75. So yeah, it was an easy find. And they have it at their fairgrounds there. It was a nice place. They got a campground there, swimming pool, like a rec center type thing, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, when you come in, they have the big Bigfoot there. It was built for something, and then they just kind of kept it there. So I got my opportunity to see it. So I saw Nelson, and then we did the protest, and except for driving on the highway with people that do not know how to pass on the left.
What the hell is it with that? If you have to go to the right to pass,
I go right up on the fucking median, put two wheels in the air,
75 miles an hour, and people are tapping the brakes. I just want to take their license.
Caitlin's in the chat now.
Hey, Caitlin, how's it going? And Theo,
I'll be seeing Caitlin very soon, just like a month away, pretty much. Yeah, tomorrow being the 7th, which will be 1 month, because I'll be arriving in London, Ontario, then driving to Sarnia on the 7th of August to hang out with my friends Caitlin and John and a whole bunch of other people at BajaCon.
That's awesome.
Still tickets, folks. Just FYI.
It's great meeting everybody, isn't it, Neil?
It is. We have so much fun, Dave. One day I'll run into you, and you and I can run around and hunt for Bigfoots.
Oh yeah, that sounds fun.
Big feet.
Yeah, it is. It is St. Mary's. I don't know, but tons of mice. You follow the signs to St. Mary's to get to the Bigfoot. So I don't know about the lake. But, that is. Those are the signs you follow to get there. So we did follow
well, you do know I live where the Ogopogo resides, right?
The what?
Yeah.
The Ogopogo. It's like the British Columbia version of Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness.
Everywhere's got their own. That's ours.
We all have like different monsters.
We've got two. We got Bessie that's in Lake Erie, and we've got another one in Ohio that's in a smaller lake. I don't remember the name right off the top of my head. A little sun.
Bessie. Couldn't come more original, more fucking imaginative than Bessie.
Like, come on.
Bessie or Lake Erie Monster are the two names.
Yeah, we have like the Beaver Man or something weird like that. It was like him in Florida. It was like the Beaver Man. It was something stupid. I'm like, that's so not scary. Like, can you name it literally anything else?
Isn't it hilarious that there seem to be monsters everywhere that people have seen and no one's ever produced one?
But you can't. Yeah, never.
They are very popular. When I cover a lot of cryptids on my Grassman.
Mm-hmm.
They hear from people all around the world. It is a phenomenon all around the world. People are big on believing in cryptids. Whatever they're seeing or whatever, they want to believe that it's a monster.
Yeah. Because life is boring. We need monsters.
It is. Yeah. What?
Hey, you under the bed. Cut that out. That's my foot. Sorry.
Like you said, Neil. I mean, who doesn't want the Bigfoot to be real? I mean, big furry teddy bear. I mean, what better cryptid could you ask for?
Honestly, I think it's the most plausible of all the cryptids. I think if any of them you would find in existence, it could be you're right. Gigantopithecus, right, is a fine example of what could be what people are seeing, but they're all gone now, so it's unlikely. But still, I mean, if one managed or a handful of them managed to survive out of human contact, which is probably why they survived, because we'd kill them. That would be but in my opinion, it may be possible that they did survive for a while, but they died off because they don't have enough gene pool to keep it going, right?
And there's wild man stories going all
Sure.
through history. People that just
That's
didn't
me.
like living with other people.
Florida man. Yeah, we
Be
got them
off
all
in
over.
the woods, and yeah, they would probably scare people off because they wanted to be left alone.
Oh yeah, like dressed up.
I
Like
see.
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I see tons of mice mentioning Frogman and the Melon Heads. Yeah, I have
Melon heads.
giant.
I
The
don't know.
That's a
I'm
hungry
candy.
now, though.
That's melon heads is a candy.
Television.
Come on, that's not real.
the big frog. I already got notes for it, and the Melon Heads. Bree covered that, and I was like, the story sounds familiar, but when I heard it, it was called the Waterheads, which isn't politically correct anymore. It's actual condition. Get the water on the brain.
Oh yeah. You mean
Oh
like
yeah.
you're talking about like
Okay.
the pinheads, what they used to call them when they were like circus sideshow people.
Yeah, they different names. So yeah, I didn't know it as Melonheads, but when she started covering the story, I was like, oh, I heard that as the Waterheads, right? And yeah, you'd go out with the girls in the woods, It's like a snipe. Ooh, what was that? Ooh, what was that? Hopefully they'll jump in your arms and be scared.
Dude, we got this weird one. And it's like local to the actual city that I live next to, is St. Petersburg, Florida. And like there's these things called the mini lights. And have you ever heard of those, Dave? The mini lights?
Those fairies or something?
Yeah. Well, they're like they sound like they're leprechauns for all intents and purposes. Like that, they're just describing leprechaun. They're little green men, like fairy men, whatever thing. And apparently, you got to go to a very specific place, and you say, "Mini lights, come out and play tonight. Mini lights, come out and play tonight." And you got to say it 3 times. And if you do, then they come out and beat you up. They say they beat people up. They punch them, kick them, and stuff. I know. Like, what do they? It's weird.
How many?
But they're
how
like
many
a foot
stories are there?
tall. So I'm like, how do they beat people up at a foot tall, dude? I feel like you just kick it.
Yeah, they're like little footballs. Just punt.
Literally.
The upright.
Yeah.
You mentioned Chucky. You mentioned
Right.
Chucky. I mean, every time I watch those movies, I was like, why didn't somebody just kick it?
Just kick the damn doll. Holy shit. He always gets them by
I
surprise.
don't want
That's
to
what it is.
stab my foot. It'll
Right.
heal.
Hey, Al
punch a little
Trucker,
bit.
how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, so I had a good time meeting everybody. A lot of the folks we only know online, and meeting everybody in person is always so. That was the highlight of it. Really, was meeting.
Yeah, I've met everybody at Free Flow just early, a few months back now. But met Casey and John.
I saw some of your pictures.
Yeah. God,
you met Granny there, didn't you?
Yeah, I was just about to say, yeah, Godless Granny. There's a bunch of people there. It was awesome. I had a blast.
I'll have to hit her up for a deal.
She marched all the way down the street with her cane to go protest in front of the Ark. She's
that's awesome.
I got to give it to her.
She's a fucking trooper.
Oh yeah.
She is.
I met her at one of the
like, no, we're not making the journey, and Granny's like, I'm going. So off she went. Yeah, we were walking with her. She was bringing up the rear, so we had a little group walking with her.
Oh,
yeah, she made the walk. Good for her.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go cheer her on. Get her on for an episode of DSU.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I will definitely let Seth know to get a hold of you.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dave.
Yeah, he's great to talk to. He's got
Haven
great stories, great anecdotes, and everything. You'll have a good time talking.
Very cool. I look forward to talking to him. If it happens.
Yeah, I will be on with you in a couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to that too.
Oh yeah, right here on Skeptic Haven.
Right here. That's right. I got my invite from Weston's email, so it's all set. Yeah, I'll see you then. And of course, Brentley, we've been back and forth on each other's channels. Always great talking to you too.
Oh yeah, man. Always a blast.
I'm gonna go kick back and relax. I had a long drive. And, it's time to relax. But yeah, I wanted to call in and say hi to you and let you know how everything went. And yeah, so check out my channel. I've got as many live videos as I could. I put up there, and I'll figure out how to post some photos and in the community thing here. Like that. Oh, and you know Dave Murphy?
Yes.
You guys know Dave Murphy?
Yes.
Dave was there. And he came up and he said, "Here, this is for you." And he gave me a mug. So I've got a Dave Murphy mug that says, excuse me.
Yeah. It's like his catchphrase. That's great.
Yeah.
That's his catchphrase. So that was way cool. Thank you, Dave, for the gift. Much appreciated. I'll show it off next time I stream.
Oh, yeah.
And and speaking of, you know, y'all are always invited every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern, Saturday night at the Atheists. Everybody's welcome. We have a panel every week. Just give a holler in the chat. We'll get you a link. Goes for you, Neil. Goes for you, Brentley, and anybody else. Everybody's always welcome to stop by on Saturday.
Sweet. Hell yeah. I'll hit you up soon, actually. That's cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Sounds like a fun time. Well, thanks for calling, Dave.
And
yeah.
Yep. Thanks for talking with me, guys. Always a pleasure. And you have a good one. And we'll talk to you soon.
You bet, man.
Bye.
You too, brother. Have a good one. All right. And that was our good friend Dave calling in. There's been shit going on in the chat that I of course, when we have someone on that we're talking to, I'm not engaging in the chat. So
yeah.
This person here has been saying all kinds of crazy shit. So anyways, atheists do not stick to their beliefs when arguing. Isn't that hilarious? Like, I just to let you know, we don't really hold beliefs so much. We go with knowledge. That's why one of my favorite expressions uttered by Christopher Hitchens is it's called faith because it's not knowledge. As a scientist, I like to stick to things that I can investigate, observe, repeat, and then I call that knowledge once it pans out to whatever it is. Whatever X is. Okay, so, and I've seen you saying, do we believe in objective morality? No, there is no such thing as objective morality, period. Morality is an evolving ideal, just like everything else that humans come up with. Morality is fluid. At one time, it was considered perfectly okay to cut off the hands of somebody that stole somebody from you. We don't think that anymore. That's morality changing. Morality is fluid. It always has been, and it will continue to be that way because there are technologies coming out now that we couldn't even fathom 100 years ago that we're going to have ethical discussions on. Something moral. What do we do with this technology? It could be used to harm people. It could be used to help people. Let's go with the help people route because we don't really want to harm people. So you're a scientist, are you? Okay, great. I have my doubts, but that's great. Only 3% of today's scientists, although they're very good at keeping their beliefs at home and their scientific brain in the lab. Right. At least most of the scientists you know and see, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, he mentions that as well. That there are scientists that still hold their religious beliefs, but they keep it out of the lab because it doesn't belong there because it's not a place for religion. Right. But anyway, I do chemistry. I call myself a hack chemist, but yeah, so I do chemistry for an environmental company. So that's my line of work. Anyway, but morality has never been objective. We can, as a group of people, like let's say we sat 100 of us in a room somewhere, and we said, okay, let's come up with some things like let's look at our laws that we have, which are secular, FYI. We didn't base our laws off anything. they were stolen already from people that already believed that murder was bad, that lying was bad, that stealing was bad. People already believed that before any of those Ten
Didn't need
Commandments, which were ripped right out of the old Book of the Dead anyways. But that's a whole other story.
But don't need a book to tell you to not,
right?
To not kill and stuff.
When it comes to morals, I'll basically I like to put it all in a nice little nutshell. For me, is something that actually still stuck with me from when I was in the Wiccan whole system. And you harm none, do as you will. It's pretty much that simple. It's like the golden rule.
Yeah.
Okay. So no. And do I believe we have free will? I think personally, and people call me out on it, and that's fine. I think personally that we kind of do. I think even though it has already been demonstrated by neuroscience that our brains make decisions before we are aware of the decision.
Right.
However, your brain is also pattern recognition. So it recognizes things that you tended to go for while you were still developing your gray matter. Your brain recognizes patterns of things you tend to go to, like I like chocolate over vanilla. So if somebody comes to you and says, hey, listen, and yes, I'm using simplified shit, but it just makes it easier. I'll use cereal. Okay. Would you prefer the regular Captain Crunch or the peanut butter Captain Crunch? My brain's already, before I even spit out the words, goes, always peanut butter Captain Crunch. What's wrong with you? Right.
Yeah,
so
obviously. 100%.
Do I think we have free will? I still think that that's a form of it because it's based on your mental behavior from your past. At least that's the way I look at it. So yeah, I do think we kind of do. But, neuroscience is leaning towards us not really having what we would consider true free will. So there you go.
Yeah. And it's like when it comes to like objective morality, here's my issue. How do you have something be because if we're talking about morality, we're talking about human behavior and whether or not it's good or bad. How do you have a good or a bad with it being outside of literally everybody's opinion? How do you have that? It's literally not. It has to be good or bad to someone, right or wrong to someone. And when it's religious people, it's just their subjective interpretation of what they think their God wants everybody to behave like, or really what their subjective opinion is of what they think their God's subjective opinion is. So it's opinion fucking squared.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. And I already don't like this fellow person. Okay. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Oh.
This fellow. Being a slave is better than being dead. I disagree. So if the alternative is not being a slave, not being a slave is death, then slavery is not immoral. Fellow, slavery is immoral 100% of the time.
That is wow. Yeah.
Bottom fucking line. And if you think otherwise, you are not a good person. You are a religious person, or I'm assuming you're a theist of some kind. You're a shitty person on a leash, is what you are, because it's your God keeping you from behaving the way you really want to. Probably fucking voted for the dipshit orange potato that's running your country right now too.
Bet she did. Yeah.
I don't want to talk to this guy. So if he calls in, or this person, I don't know if you're a guy or not. Well, then fuck you. If you think slavery is somehow moral, you can go fuck yourself. Period.
What is morality to a person like? What makes something moral or immoral to that person? I wonder. Like, how do you get? Like, what is the basis going to be? Just whatever you think your God wants people to do, and like he's as long as the killing them is the alternative, then enslaving them is like not bad.
Caitlin nailed it right there. Slavery takes away another person's agency. It's wrong. 100% agree with you, darling. 100%.
Perfect. Yes. Perfect way to say that.
You get an extra hug at Baja Con for that one.
That's right.
Just tell John not to punch me.
He does punch pretty hard.
I don't want to get punched by godless.
He's got long arms. And
I might get famous if that happens, though. No.
Maybe. Hey, weird stuff goes viral. I don't know. It's strange how that goes. No, yeah, that should kill me. And
I'm sorry, my mind is racing right now, Brentley. So
I know, like all over the place
this
now. Right?
fellow person saying, "Oh, morals this, morals that," but he's okay with fucking slavery. Like, go fuck yourself. I have a gigantic vibrator I'll mail to you, and you can fuck yourself with that. But I'm going to put razor blades in it so it hurts even more. Fuck you.
Right. I mean, to him that wouldn't be immoral, right? Because harming other people doesn't come into it. I guess it's just Jesus Christ.
Better not meet me in public, because I will Lorena Bob at his ass.
That is an old reference, but I get it. So,
I'm old. What do you want?
I'm not gonna say what the reference is, but because I don't want to demonetize the stream.
I'm just gonna grab my old guy stick. Hey, you little whippersnappers!
Right.
Let me tell you about my my salad days. Why did they call it salad days? I never understood that one.
What are salad days? Like I've heard that mentioned.
Get off my computer lawn! I love that. Brentley coined that one today, so we're using that.
That's right. Get off my computer's lawn. Exactly. Oh God, what is a salad day? I've heard people say that phrase, and I don't know at all what it means.
Kayla just quoted me in the chat. I have a gigantic vibrator. Neil the Sixer for Atheist 2025.
Oh, that's perfect.
I have this sneaking suspicion I'm not going to live that one down for a while.
Oh my God. Yep. Clip that, everybody. Clip it out.
I suddenly lost my ticket to Baja Con. I don't want to be ridiculed. No, I'm all right with being ridiculed. It's hilarious.
We're gonna get shirts made. I have a gigantic vibrator.
Yeah, I have a gigantic dildo or vibrator. So.
Be a cartoon and Neil.
I got to put that in my merch store.
Yeah, you need to.
I'm gonna actually start selling them too.
There you go.
With Neil the Sixer for Atheist on the side.
I know. I was trying to find a banana one to sell on the store, because of the whole banana thing, right? With Ray Comfort and all that. They don't have bananas, they don't just randomly have bananas on the spread shop. Kind of suck, but whatever. I might have to
bananas. There's another good punk band, Random Bananas.
Oh, Random. That is actually really good. Random Bananas. Gotta write. Can we write this down? Yeah, write that down.
I have a mental notepad, but my mental note pen ran out of ink, so I can't.
Oh, well, that'll do it. It's disappearing ink. It's the real problem there.
604 centimeters for fun with Neil.
604.
Well, I thought it was a vibrator. Turns out it was my thermos.
Oh my God, that would hurt quite a bit.
Do they always come with that little handle thingy? I don't understand. That's for guiding in carefully.
Right.
We're starting to turn into the Skeptic Haven hub again.
Right. Yeah. No, that's Jesus. That's awesome. But yeah, with
any more callers? Even if you guys just want to call in, and when I answer the phone, you go, "Yeah, fuck you, Neil, you douche," and then hang up on me. That's fine. I don't.
That's cool. I'll take it. Yeah, not to me though. Just Neil. Just
douches are you? Yeah, just me. Just make.
You got to be nice to me. All right.
It's far too cool to make fun of.
I'm too sensitive. Okay, it's my feelings. That's funny.
Oh shit. Oh well. Can you believe in Jesus but not his dad? Yeah, sure. I guess you could. But that would be weird, Dale. I think because if you believe in Jesus but not his dad or his
where'd he come from?
Yeah, what's that all about?
Right.
I always thought it's funny that Adam and Eve, in every picture ever depicted of them, they have belly buttons. Like what?
Oh, right. Yeah. Where did they get those?
Did the dirt have an umbilical cord? Did Adam's rib have an umbilical cord? I don't even think they knew what an umbilical cord was when they wrote it.
It's like I'm hooked onto the ground. This is really weird. It's like a dirt umbilical cord holding them down. Somebody cut this. Somebody have tiny scissors that they could.
Atomic Punk 31 says, "I can believe a person existed, just not supernatural deities." I agree, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm actually, a lot of my friends are mythicists, they think, and I'm kind of on board with the mythicist stuff as well. I actually use one of my good friend Godless Engineer's apps called Crestus, which him and Carrier put that together. so I use that, and it has lots of great resources for the whole mythology of Jesus. I still think that it's highly possible that there was some itinerant rabbi running around like a maniac, doing all kinds of things and yelling at the church and flipping tables. That's totally possible.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, because really the only records of that we have are the scriptures themselves. There's no secondary records to show that that was something that happened. So it's possible there was a real life guy that they ultimately molded into the mythological character we now know as Jesus. It's possible, sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, were you there? Well, no, but lots of things were that could help to demonstrate reality in certain ways. Like people often say, oh, I don't believe in evolution, it's all bullshit, or the age of the earth. Well, there were rocks there, and rocks trap particles and things like that. Like hell, even photons can get trapped. And that tells you, or uranium is a great one, because uranium's half-life is whatever it is. I can't remember off the top of my head. I have little cards over there, so I could probably just look. Right, so it has to, and they can tell by the decay of said matter, but whether it's uranium, thorium, or whatever, by the decay, they can tell you approximately, literally to within maybe even a few weeks of how old this piece is, based on that, based on what they can read. We have lots of cool tools in science that can tell you what's in the fucking planet's atmosphere that's 100 fucking light years away from us.
Wow.
So, especially some of the new telescopes that are coming out will be able to do even more than that. We can discover things. We have the tools. We have the technology. We can rebuild him.
Another old reference. Wow, we were just.
I'm old. I keep telling you this. See, nobody believes me. Sure, I may be.
I got the reference. Though. I get it. I know that one. Hey, KC's going to be started recording Carrier's book next.
Very cool.
Recording it next month. Yeah, because Casey did what was it? Jesus from Outer Space. That book is really good so far.
I got to be the voice of God, so that's a notch in my belt. For that Steve the Prophet or whatever the hell the book it was that I did. That was my first paying voice gig, by the way. I'm like, wow, she paid me, I think, $250 Canadian. I was like, holy crap. Wow, thanks. And I literally sat with her for a few hours. It did it all in like 1 or 2 takes. So,
holy shit, that's awesome.
Because I love doing it, right? So I practice ahead of time, and I kind of get inflections going, and sometimes I'm wrong, and she'll correct me when I'm wrong, because it's always best to do these when you're sitting with the author, because they have sort of an idea in their head what they want. So it's best to do that, I find, anyways, to work with the creators so you nail what they're looking for, right? So
they're like, New York accent. He's not from New York. Come on, Neil, stop.
What's going on here? Come on, yeah, I'm walking here. What's wrong with you?
This fucking guy. Oh, yeah.
This fucking guy here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I can do lots of fun little accents and stuff like that, which is a wanted quality, apparently.
And voice hat, yeah. It's weird how that goes, but $250.
Tons of mice. $250 Canadian. That's $4.95 American. Yeah, pretty close. Yeah,
that's funny. I feel like it'd be the opposite.
Joke about
like
that all the time.
Canadian money is way better at this point, right?
Nope. Our dollar. Our dollar is rising. It is on the rise, thanks to Mark Carney. But I still think we still need to pay something like $1.27 to get $1 US. So.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay. Well.
Yeah. I remember the days, and this is probably in the late 70s, early 80s, when we used to go down to Bellingham, Washington State, to go grocery shopping, which is the first time I ever had peanut butter Captain Crunch, because they didn't have it here.
What?
But I remember paying for groceries down there because our dollar was worth like $1.08 or $1.09. Like you had to pay $1.08 or $1.09, I think, for $1 Canadian dollar back then. So our dollar was stronger than the American dollar at that point.
Wow.
So going down there to grocery shop at that point was like winning the fucking grocery lottery. So,
that's awesome. Yeah. Holy shit. So it has gone up and down. Huh? Wow.
Yes, it has.
That's wild.
I don't think anyone else wants to talk to us, Brentley. The fuck?
I'm sorry. I always
when I do the show, nobody wants to call in. Are we? Yeah, I'm thinking we're starting to scare these fucking people away.
It's my bad religion cross thing. It messes them up.
Right.
time. They get mad about it, you know.
You can barely see it, so I don't think
I
that's.
know. Well, I put on the blue light so you couldn't see it as well because I wasn't sure if that does, like, you know.
Put on the blue light. Yeah, wow. Yeah, I don't know, man. Stick it out for 15 more minutes or so and then call it a night, I think. That'll give it a 2-hour long show. But hey, guys, I mean, oh, wow, there's lots of private messages that I am not paying any fucking attention to.
Oh, no. Neil, we're in trouble.
I know. Hey, I'm walking here. Yeah, there you go. Use guys.
Look, use guys. Get the
Yeah, gotta go to my car, heading to the bar, gonna have a few beers.
That's it. That's Boston. Look,
That's Boston.
Look, wow.
You got rid of that Marchand guy there.
That's Mark Wahlberg. I'm Mark Wahlberg.
I'm not Wahlberg.
I'll show you, bro. That's Eli Boston does it like that.
I even speak Wookiee.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's I have a little fan going because I didn't want the big noisy one going because it's really annoying, but it keeps pushing my hair or blowing my hair in my mouth. I feel like I'm in one of those hair commercials, you know.
Right. It's just like very flowy. Okay.
Was it L'Oreal? L'Oreal. Somebody did a L'Oreal meme of me one time. It was so funny.
Oh, that's so good. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they actually just fixed the AC in our hallways. Like we have the HVAC system here, right? So they just fixed all, and now it sounds like a fucking wind tunnel in the hallway now. Like you come in there, and every time I walk down there, all I picture. Now, some of you all may not understand this reference, but it goes back a few years. Pepperidge Farm remembers, but anyways, it reminds me of that old Maxell cassette tape ad that you see the guy sitting in the chair. And his hair is being blown back, like the sound is coming right at him, and his hair is being blown back, and the fucking lamp is tipping, and yeah, it reminds me of that. So every time I walk in the hallway, that's all I can think of.
That's
One of these days, I'm going to freak out my roommate, and I'm going to remove my bandana and just fucking tussle my hair and go, "Holy shit! They need to turn that thing down."
Almost got sucked into the yeah.
Yeah, Dave did a friendly giant pic of me. For those of you who don't know, uneducated fucks, Friendly Giant was a Canadian children's show back in the day.
Okay,
he passed away some time back, and he had these really creepy puppets. Not quite as creepy as Casey from Mr. Dress Up, but he had like Rocky the Rooster or whatever, and Jerome the Giraffe. And a couple of these cats, and these had a little rock band that they'd play, and yeah, it's kind of funny. And the opening scene was look way up, and I'll call Rusty. And then and then the drawbridge would come down, and he goes, "Now everyone gather around the fireplace. I've got a nice little rocking chair over here for one of you, a nice cozy chair over here for someone else, and a little love seat for two of you to cut up." And then they'd go on with the show. So there you go.
Cool. Kind of like Mr. Rogers when they go through the tunnel. They always would go through the train tunnel, and then you go hang out with the puppets.
Fellow's back with a new name. I'm sorry, buddy. Slavery's immoral.
Are you
period.
Serious?
Period. It's immoral, period. And if you think otherwise, you are not a good human being.
And you can base
that simple.
You can base it just off like the categorical imperative or something like that, where it's just would this make a better society? Yes or no? No, obviously no. That would make a worse society. No, like obviously.
They also they love to frame questions to make it almost impossible for you to answer. Right? They love dichotomies. First of all, there's no nuance. They love dichotomies.
Right. Yeah.
And then they frame questions in a ways where you're kind of fucked either way you answer it. So I don't fucking deal with that bullshit. If you're going to ask me if slavery is immoral, I'm going to say yes every fucking time. Okay? It's that simple. I think slavery is immoral. Bottom line.
Yeah.
When you see if you had to die or be a slave, which is a bullshit fucking way to come at it.
That is great.
Just proves just how fucking shitty you are when you make it that way. Right? You are a shitty human being.
And again, just because everybody agrees that something is immoral, it doesn't make it objective. Everybody agreeing that doesn't equal objective. So I don't know what they have such a hang up with the word objective when it comes to morality for some reason. It's like, why can't you just acknowledge the reality?
Conditioned to think that way.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's no objective evidence for Abrahamic gods to exist. Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
At all.
I don't care.
What?
Use logic, lose your emotions. I'm sorry. Logically, slavery is immoral. Does that work for you? Bottom fucking line. You want to here's another example of putting situations to make it sound like, oh, but I'm on the moral fucking high ground. In a state with an economy suffering from homelessness and poverty, implementing slavery does and has overall well-being. Bullshit.
What? Wow.
No, it fucking doesn't. And I don't know who convinced you that was a good way to think about it.
That's insane.
You need to distance yourself from those kinds of people. Explain my logic? Sure. Taking away the agency of an individual and calling them a property of you is never a good fucking thing. That's my logic. Bottom fucking line.
Like, what about like the veil of ignorance? Like, you ever thought of something like that? Like, even just the veil of ignorance would show that this is immoral. Where you could, like, if you're designing a society and trying to figure out what would be right or wrong within that society, you don't know who you would be within that society because that's behind the veil of ignorance, right? So even just based on that, slavery would obviously be immoral because you don't know if you would end up being the slave, right? Within society. The other thing I was saying, like the categorical imperative, if if every human took this as something that they should do as a behavior, would it make a better or worse society for everybody? Well, it'd be worse because you wouldn't want to be owned by other people. We don't need a god or any other, like any top-down moral dictates for us to figure this out, even objectively. But I mean, like I said, you can put it in objective terms, but it's not, ultimately it's always subjective. But
they banned him permanently. So
okay.
Now I just feel like an old man yelling at the sky. Eepa! Eepa!
Well, the thing that irritates me too is like, less emotion. Hey, guess what? You can be correct and pissed off at the same time.
Yeah.
Crazy how that works. It's almost as if the emotions have nothing to fucking do with your rightness or wrongness.
I start out with logic, and when you keep bringing up slavery's kind of okay, that pisses me off. So that logic, I logically get fucking angry.
Right. Yeah.
That's simple.
It's weird that we've gotten to this place where like the debate me bro dudes that are like online, they think getting mad means you lost. Like, and that and so then they end up just
triggered the libs.
Yeah. They're just like, they're saying the most disgusting stuff. And then when you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? They're like, see, I totally won the debate because they got mad. And it's like, okay, so debate means nothing to this person. Then nobody's trying to get
the points he made or the logical things that they said meant anything. They got mad, so that's it. It's instantly lost. Go fuck yourself.
Jesus.
You talk about slavery and other things that are very, very bad for humans. I get fucking pissed off. Sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm not fucking sorry, and I'm Canadian.
Right.
Fuck you. And fuck you and everyone that fucking thinks like you.
100%.
All right. That works for me. I will send all of these fucking mice to your house to infest your life forever.
That's right.
Sorry, tons.
It's like, hey, that's my body. Like that, you can't just be sending my body.
Tons of mice says, no, those are my people. All right, I don't know about you, Brent, but I'm starting to get tired. I got to get up early. I start work at 5 a.m., so I'm up at 4 a.m. to get ready and go.
Oh my god! Yeah, me too, actually. I just started a new one to where I'm waking up early. So
Tons of Ice says, I'm up for a trip.
there you go.
I got my Zippo fluid and a lighter. I'll handle this guy, no problem.
I'll terrorize.
I'm not suggesting you run around burning people. It's a joke, people. It's called an extreme point of view as a joke, dark humor. It's relax.
That's right.
I would never advocate to kill anybody, even. Well, I don't know. I'd probably kill a Nazi.
Yeah, that's it gets tough once we start going that long.
I wouldn't feel bad about it either because they killed lots of people, and the new Nazis are doing just the same thing.
Yeah, they're just as bad. Jesus.
Anyway, well, it's fun, dude. I think we had fun. Yeah. Just you and me shooting the shit. Talk to Dave a little bit, hear about the Ark protests. That was pretty cool.
Hell yeah. No, it's always fun hanging out with you, man. I always
cool.
enjoy it.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. No. And it's always fun when I get to show off my Lego stuff. So,
Oh yeah, and you got plenty. You got plenty to show off.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's lots of toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. I don't want to grow up because maybe if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid.
But
I have that fucking sound effect somewhere, but I don't. It's not. Oh no, it's not available when I do here. It doesn't pop up, but when I'm on my StreamYard, then it comes up there. Or
yeah, that'll do
it. All right, folks. I just want to make a few little things there. We could probably roll the ticker down below as well, so you can see who I'm talking about here. Oh wait, now I gotta sign back into my little pad here. We do want to thank our awesome patrons and our members, and to you guys as well that hang out in the chat. You guys make this so much fun. But our patrons are Paul Cammish, Karen Butcher, HellsBells, Logan Fisher, Amanda McLeod, Jamie West, Sydney Davis Jr., who now has a new name because she got married. Congrats, Sydney. Eric Ozels, Tara S., Ryan D. Murphy, Dan D., Shannon Gray, Michael Wiseman, Bass Thrasher. That's a great one. Bryce Roney, whose name always, every time I say Bryce Roney's name, Bryce Roney, the San Francisco treat goes through my head.
So funny. I was thinking exactly that.
Jenna Miu, Deborah Grace, Sunny Show, Phil Calderone, and our members include great folks like Cynthia McDonald and Kelly Laughlin, who you can catch both on the usual nonprofit show that I used to do, but sadly I don't do anymore because I do enough.
Yeah, got
they let me keep this, which is very nice of them. So I got to keep the ACA crew thing. So.
Oh, hell yeah. That's awesome. Good job with the effects over there. I was like,
I woke up.
Need to do the whole show.
And I just dripped water all over my goddamn computer. That's never good. But folks, water and electronics don't mix.
There you go.
Wah, 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 wah. Anyways, guys. Yeah, Dave's got it in the chat. I just noticed that right as I was saying that.
Oh my God.
Thanks to everyone. Thanks to our one caller tonight, Mr. Dave, who's also known as Captive Desk. If you're unfamiliar with him, his YouTube channel is Captive Desk. You might check in the chat. I'm sure Pragmatic Crystal, who drops links all over the place. Like I've seen her walking down the street and they just fall out of her pocket. Like, oh, wait. We do have a call. Hold on a second here. Doesn't matter. Watching agnostic starting to believe in God. Wait, what? What? You want to take this one? What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. I'm interested to hear how one starts to become convinced of God. All right.
Huh.
Hello, Simon. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. How about you?
Good.
So you're in Washington State?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're neighbors. I'm in BC.
Oh, BC's great. Yeah.
Honestly, man, I think U.S. or Washington State and BC should just be connected and get it over with because it's all like the same thing.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I support Cascadian independence.
All right, but so you're by what was printed, you're starting to believe in God. What is doing that for you? Like, what is convincing you?
Well, I suppose it started with, there was a paper that was published in 2017 by Leonard Susskind and Gerard de Tooft, which was the proof sort of the law of conservation of information. Prior to that point, Stephen Hawking had posited that black holes can exist as a quantum eraser. And so that sort of made me think that, so basically they sort of kind of revolutionized what our understanding of the universe is. And so the reconciliation for the black hole information loss paradox that they proposed, which is now accepted by most physicists, is that the universe has an event horizon, right? And
Sure.
that event horizon contains all information that can ever exist about the universe. So that theoretically
Sure.
could potentiate omniscience. And there are a few different ways that
I don't know how, but how do you link that?
Yeah, there's a few different links. So one is like sort of, first of all, it was like a bit of a revolutionary shift in my perspective about the universe. As kind of an atheist, I believed that we die and we turn to dust, and it's as though we never existed. And then that kind of goes along with the way we experience time as sort of an arrow of entropy. With our information just decaying over time. So, but anyways, but that's sort of like the thought that there's permanence to our existence, that the narratives of who we are forever indelibly written into the fabric of reality was really sort of shocking to me. So, anyways, so how does this point towards God? Well, there's a few different ways. Number one, anytime we find information written down in a way that's many times in nature, and arguably every time in nature we find information written, there's almost always an entity that acts on and perceives that information, right? So if we portray the event,
you mean us, right? I mean the people that are observing whatever it is.
Well, not necessarily. Like, I mean, there's other information that gets acted on by, agents that are not human. Like, for instance, like there are colors of flowers that get acted on by bees who seem special.
Sure.
We can't.
I see what you're saying. Cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was sort of disturbing to me as an atheist to think that the event horizon of the universe was a readable matrix of information. That sort of implies that there's a reader. So that's one reason. Every time we see information in nature, we almost always find at least some sort of entity that maybe not with like a huge amount of sapience, but at least with some degree of ability to comprehend that information or understand it or at least act on it in some way. So whenever we see information, we almost always find a reader of that information, right? So that's one reason. The second reason is that, well, I mean, I'd have to, let me see. I wrote down some of my notes in that, but do you want to talk about that a little bit more for now to get the ball rolling? I know it did sound like you all were wrapping up, but I'm happy to talk a little bit more about this.
You've got the wheels turning in my head, and I've sort of dealt with this kind of stuff before. Just okay. Let's say because an agency observes something, like all the stuff you talk about, I think is really cool. By the way, I think that we can see all the information about our universe, although they don't know 100% that that's what that is. Okay, we don't know. There are theories flying around now, or hypotheses, I should say, because a theory is a set of substantiated evidence.
No,
there are hypotheses.
Most, but not all physicists think that this is the way the universe works.
Yes. Oh, I know. There's a large group. There's a large group of physicists now, and even Tyson, I keep using Neil deGrasse Tyson because he's one of my favorites. I think he's a great communicator. He even is starting to lean towards we actually exist inside of a black hole, which is what that whole membrane of information might be.
Yes,
which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure I'm on board with that myself. Okay, but I haven't delved enough into it to solidify that position. I'm saying I could be convinced otherwise, but right now I'm not 100% on board with that. It kind of sounds like, well, because to me, in my head, I'm thinking, if we exist inside of a black hole, then why the hell are there black holes within a black hole? That just seems counterintuitive, because black holes tend to consume each other and become one giant one. You know what I mean? So,
well, that's true. But Alan Gouth's model of inflationary cosmology does imply that there will sort of be bubbles that form, and then bubbles would form within those bubbles. So if you believe in Alan Gouth's model of inflationary cosmology, there's sort of a bubbling effect that happens, and then each little bubble forms bubbles.
Yeah, that's very possible, and I think that I could lean into that as well, and that's kind of an explanation for multiverse theory as well. That each universe is its own little bubble, and maybe all of us exist in some giant fucking black hole for all we know,
expanding out bigger and bigger.
Well, yeah,
one within one.
You also have to remember that our equipment now, our technological equipment to understand these phenomena, is getting better and better, and we're finding out that we may have been wrong about a few things too. So as we can see further out, we can't see past, what is it, the CMB, right, the cosmic microwave background, because light takes a certain amount of time to reach us, and there is a point where we can't see past, because the light will never reach us because of the expansion.
That's true, but if you believe that we will get incrementally more information from gravity wave cosmology,
I believe we're on the precipice of that. Yes.
Yeah. So gravitational waves are not bounded by that. So supposedly, I think what you're saying is the universe was opaque for the first 300,000 years, and so
some along those lines.
Microwave background started permeating the universe after that time point. But gravitational, if we can improve our gravitational wave astronomy, then that means that we can see back even further than that. In other words, gravitational waves were not, the universe was not opaque to gravitational waves before that point. Interestingly, but go on. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. I pretty much said what I wanted to say. I think I
pulled up my other reasons why this event horizon model might imply the existence of God. So I kind of wrote down 4 reasons in my notes.
So you're well, hold on just a sec. So you're saying it might imply? You're not saying it does?
No, I don't think there's definitely not a smoking gun here. So there's definitely plenty of room for doubt.
Fair enough.
Sort of, to me, it's sort of pointing me in a direction.
That's an interesting comment. I just read a comment in the chat that says it's a fractal system of black holes. Yeah,
right.
But I don't like in the beginning there was nothing, and it exploded. Nothing exploded. Ace 96. Just FYI, nothing exploded. That's not what happened. Anyway, carry on, sir.
All right. Well, so here's the reasons why this leads me sort of in the direction of there being God. So one is that it makes omniscience possible, and some of the things about our physical reality that we're seeing seem to indicate that if something's possible, then it is compulsory, right? That was the hypothesis of Murray Gell-Mann in the 1950s, who came up with a lot of the quantum mechanical ideas that underlie the standard model of particle physics. So Murray Gell-Mann said, the universe is totalitarian.
I have one of his books, actually.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I think I have one of his books. I have a bunch of particle physics books from way back in the day that my grandfather, who was a calculus professor, gave to me. So,
yeah. So that's one reason. So if the universe is totalitarianistic, and we're saying that awareness of all the information in the universe is possible, then we're bringing that awareness closer into the domain where I have to say that it must exist. Okay, here's reason number 2. Reason number 2 is the one I already said. Whenever we find information in nature, we find a conscious entity capable of acting on that information. Reason number 3, some of the abilities of God, like some of the types of omnipotence, are possible if you render our 3-dimensional reality into a lower dimensional set of experiences, In other words, Susskind and de Tooft were both arguing that you could explain the universe through a three-dimensional volume, but you can also represent it as a two-dimensional surface area of the sphere of the event horizon. Again, I'm assuming the universe with positive curvature, which I don't need to do, but just I'm using
right. I'm familiar with everything you're talking about. Yes.
Skeptic Haven joined.
Yeah. So anyways, so if I create like a two-dimensional universe, right, then I could, and I create like living beings within that universe that are conscious, I could convince them that I have magical abilities because they wouldn't understand a higher order of a higher dimension of existence, right? Like if I put my finger
it's like going back in time to caveman days and whipping out a Zippo, and they're like, "Holy shit, he can control fire!"
Exactly. It's magic.
Yeah. Or just like being in two places at once would be, if you exist in a higher dimension, that's very easy. But anyways, so the higher dimensional, if there's a higher dimensional being, and if our reality is reconcilable on a lower dimension, right, then you could essentially use all of those tricks, even if you're just a three-dimensional being. And then the fourth reason is some of the explanations behind this whole holographic principle for explaining the universe support simulation theory. So if simulation theory is kind of rests upon the universe being pixelated and holographic, and I think it was Nick Bostrom who said that if alien entities could create a simulation of our universe, then they almost certainly would, or if future humans or any civilization could, then they would. But that analysis applies to their experience of existence as well, right? So the point here is that if you believe Nick Bostrom's trilemma about simulation theory, then essentially it results in an infinite regression where every reality is just wrapped in another reality, which is simulating that existence. And essentially the only way to break out of that, infinite recursive, infinite regressive model of simulation theory is to say there was a creator, so there is the created and there's the creator. And I
disagree.
Anyways, so what do you think about all that stuff? I mean, you're welcome to,
I first of all, that kind of stuff is fascinating to me. Oh no, I'm one of those guys that you can call in and I'll actually let you say stuff and not interrupt you. I might pop in from time to time if I hear something and I just want to make a slight correction or something, but that's a different thing. But this stuff is fascinating to me, and I think we're still unraveling these mysteries, and we're still coming to conclusions of a sort, if you will. I don't think you could really conclude anything to a level of certainty that equals 100, because I think we learn so many things as, like I said earlier, as our technology gets better, we learn more new things. Like there's a fellow in the chat that says, "Oh, but you deny that the Big Bang was an explosion." It wasn't an explosion. Many scientists themselves have said that was the worst name they could have ever given to the event that happened. And another thing to tackle is a lot of times you hear.
In fact, Fred Hoyle came up with that name because he was trying to pejorate it, right? He was trying to say, "Look how ridiculous this Big Bang is." Yeah, he was trying to make fun of it. Yeah, I think
exactly.
Fred Hoyle is.
Another trope that I hear a lot, this is like a side thing of what we're talking about, is that you can't get something from nothing. But the problem is there's no such thing as nothing, because everywhere we've looked, there has been something, even right down to quantum foam and virtual particles, which, by the way, pop in and out of existence from nothing, as you like to put it. So, on this whole, like, some of that stuff is incredible, and it's hard to wrap your mind around. I think as human beings, we kind of, as we grow up, and if we grow up in some kind of belief system that's pretty strong, and we have people around us that we talk about this stuff all the time, I think we get used to, our brains are wired where we get used to at least wanting to attribute these mysteries that we're finding out to something that's bigger than us. And I think we want to attach it to the possibility of some form of a deity. I like what you said, though. Maybe it's an alien species that we're a simulation of them. Who knows? They could look just like us too, and they decided to make their own little computer program, and we're that simulation. We are that program. That's a possibility as well. I'm not gonna push that out of the way. In that sense, I think it's possible that there is a higher being, or a much wiser being than us, because obviously they've made it pretty damn good. If this is some kind of VR, I'm convinced. So I think that's possible. I don't think it's probable. I think it's at least an interesting proposition. But I don't like talking about all these really cool scientific things that we know, or have hypotheses on, and automatically saying, well, I don't understand how this could happen. I'm going to lean towards some deity or entity of some kind, because I don't think omnipotence is possible, first of all. Because what would be the point of being omnipotent? And if there's a being out there that is omnipotent and omnipresent and omnibenevolent, or whatever this case may be, as the four omnis that they say all the time, then that entity, if it's supposed to say that it's omnibenevolent and it's supposed to be caring for us, it's missing out on a lot of things. So people die in horrible fashions all the time. Children are, for lack of a better term, molested by the very people that claim to speak for this entity all the time, and he doesn't do anything about it, or this entity doesn't do anything about it. That's neither here nor there. So I think omnipotence is just an ideal that we came up with. It's like world peace is a great idea. It'll never happen. If even we boil down to 2 people on the planet, there's still going to be difference of opinion, and that could lead to conflict. So I love all the stuff you're talking about, because that stuff fascinates me, and I delve into a little bit of quantum physics from time to time myself. Mostly chemistry, because I'm a chemist, is what I do. And I think it's some of the stuff that they're coming up with now, these new theories and hypotheses that they're coming up with, I think are fascinating. I cannot, at least at this point, I cannot come to the conclusion or lean towards a possible collusion that it leads to some sort of God or entity. I don't know about, what do you think, Brent? Let's let Brent have I'm hogging all the conversation.
No, you're good, man. Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't, when you say it's like a possibility, that's cool. All right, something is a possibility. I feel like I need more than it's something that could be. I feel like, and when it comes to like gods too, this always goes back to like, I mean, I guess you were putting like the omnis on it, so that's like slightly different. But a lot of times it's like, when I say somebody believes in a God, it's usually a specific one, right? And then they believe in this God, and that thing is the God. Because then a lot of times what they do is they ascribe like characteristics to this thing, but the only thing they're saying is the reason that they believe in it is that, hey, something had to start everything. There's all this new research that shows that like there's something that could be there or whatever. And so then that is my God. That's the one that I believe in. That's where I feel like the jump. I totally could be right there with you that, hey, something could be out there. I don't know. Especially, and the evidence that you're providing is interesting. It really is. It's thought provoking. Do I think it's
Absolutely.
enough? Right? Yeah. I don't think it's enough though to get me to go, oh, okay, well then there must be this thing that we define as a God. It almost, no offense to you, but it almost feels like we're trying to shoehorn in the omnis to make it sort of fit with what you're looking at. You know what I mean?
I also want to tackle something.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
real quick, Simon. I just want to tackle something real quick here. What you said about how we're alive, and then we just stop existing. Well, you've probably heard this said by other atheists before, but do you remember anything from before you were born? Right? Obviously, you don't, because you came into existence because your mom and dad got hubba hubba one night, and you were the result. My folks did it in the back of a 57 Chevy, which is pretty fucking cool. But anyway, so you end up, and you're conscious, but you're not sentient, like you said, like you're not sapient yet, as you're just an infant looking around, which is why we don't have memories from that time. And if anyone ever tries to tell you, oh, I have memories as a baby, no, they don't. They've invented those memories. You cannot retain memories from that young. It's not possible yet because that part of your brain hasn't linked all its neurons yet. So fuck you. Anyway, so you become sapient as you age, right? And you say your earliest memories can go to about where you're about 3 years old, 2 to 3 years old, in that range. And it's usually a traumatic event that you remember, or something that you were overjoyed about. Those are usually your biggest memories from early stages. But when you live your life, and you're right, what's the fucking word? Shit. I want to say empathy, but that's not what entropy. They sound alike, so I got them confused.
They do. Yeah.
Entropy is very much a thing. So yeah, our cells slow down. The aging process happens. You'd never know it watching me because I'm pretty animate on the show here, but I'm almost 60, so I'm getting up there in my age. But yeah, I know that the day I will pass away is coming. Am I scared of it? No, not at all. I don't care. I'll probably go in my sleep and I'll never even know. But people will remember you, and that's kind of how you live on. Your stories will be around for at least a little while. Nobody's going to be immortal. Like, no one, even their stories aren't going to last forever. There are people with probably nobody alive today has any idea ever existed. And it's going to be that way for us too at some point. And the thing is, of the millions of sperm, which is, I use this against the predetermination bullshit. The millions of sperm, the one that got in ended up being me. If a different sperm got in, it would have been somebody else, and I would have never existed. That chance is, literally 1 in millions. I exist. I am going to enjoy this existence for as much as I can and try to have the people that are around me enjoy it for as long as I can, because I ain't going to be here forever. And I like how Tyson says we are quite possibly a method for the universe to know itself. I find that a little fancy flighty, but I think it's poetic. I think it's neat. And I think it's a great idea. I don't think it's true, because the universe is not conscious, at least that we can tell. So you're going to end up dead, and all the molecules and atoms that make you up are going to go right back out to where they came from. You have molecules in your body that were in multiple different stars that exploded billions of years ago. And they exploded so that those particles could be here to form you. And thank you, stars, for growing up. If I had to say there was any entity I would call a god of some kind, it would be a star, because they're the ones that created everything, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
After the haze of the what they call the Big Bang, I call it the universal burp. This is more like what it was. But anyway, so all that stuff, there was really only hydrogen, and then hydrogen started to clump, and it started birthing stars. And then helium came, and then oxygen and carbon and all these other elements were built in stars. So all of those constituents that make you up, all those particles that make you up, are going to go right. Either you're going to go be buried. I personally want to be cremated, so all my particles can go back into space, and then they can bury what's left of me, all the carbon that's left of me, they can put in the ground because it helps plants grow. But I think, like DeGrasse also said, when you die, if you want to be buried, then you're going to go, your existence now becomes food for the fauna and flora that you fed off of in your existence. I don't think there's much, you're not going to remember that you were born. Your consciousness, when the brain goes, consciousness ceases. This we know to be a fact. So you're just going to go from non-existence to, hey, I'm alive, I'm here. My sperm won. I get to watch shit and see how all this stuff works as much as I can until I'm gone, and now I'm gone, and that's it. That's what it is to me. I don't think there are any entities out there.
I mean, I have a few responses.
Sure.
That I've been jotting down. So regarding memories before the age of 3, I'm not disputing that, but it's just kind of, this is more trivia than anything. But Salvador Dali claimed to have memories from when he was in the womb. Now, I'm not sure that I believe that, and he was very much about like his own ego, but it's just a little trivia for you.
I'll agree with that.
And then Yeah, I think a lot of what you said speaks to the fact that many people are motivated to have religious beliefs because of a fear of death. I mean, I really don't think that that's something that's motivating me. And here's why. Like a few years ago, I was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and
I'm sorry.
I ended up not dying, obviously. Yeah. And I was actually really calm about that. And I was like, I'm afraid of the moments leading up to death, but I am not at all afraid of those moments after I'm dead. In other words, like at once the moment of death passes and I don't exist anymore, like I had no fear of that. And I was actually very, very
I'm the same way.
Same
way on that.
I had complete equanimity about that. Yeah. So I don't think that's one of the drivers in this case.
Okay.
And the other thing that I was going to say is, I've heard Neil deGrasse Tyson wax poetic about the same thing, that we are the lenses through which the universe visualizes and understands itself, or something.
That's a good way to put it.
I think, I don't, the one thing that sort of led me on making some calculations of how common it is for a particle in the universe to be aware that it is itself a particle and the universe is made of stars and galaxies. So in other words, like I calculated the entire biomass of humanity and divided that by the total number of mass that we see in the observable universe, just to see how aware consciousness is. And that was just fun to do for me, but it did lead me to sort of conceptualize that we have a moral obligation, perhaps, and I haven't really solidified this, but do we have a moral obligation to consider viewpoints or arguments that are put in front of us because of that? In other words, because consciousness is very precious, and because only conscious beings like humans can really evaluate very, esoteric philosophical questions, do we have an obligation to consider a philosophical contention when it's put in front of us? I don't know. That was just sort of, this is again not an answer, but just a question to ask myself.
Oh, I hear you, man. And I would say, if that philosophical proposition seems reasonable and logical, then let's tackle it for sure. See, philosophy in my mind is a way to talk about something, to find out if there's ethics behind it, morals behind it, but what behavior should we do with it? Like these guys, that's a way for us to sort of hash things out. Like philosophy comes in handy for many things, like science and medicine and stuff like that. Like if we create something that's a super serum to invent super soldiers, is it ethical to launch it out into public and give it access to the average person? I don't think so. So, but that's something where philosophy comes in handy. I don't think it's an end-all be-all to everything, but I definitely think it's a tool in the arsenal for somebody to think about things with rationality and reason. Definitely, for sure.
Well, I'll let you go, because you guys have it sounded like you guys were wrapping up when I called in, so I
well, we were, but then you called, man, and I wanted to talk to you, especially since we're neighbors, bud. I mean, seriously.
No, I appreciate that, and I guess the one thing that I'll leave this with is that, again, I think what you said really, moved me to be an atheist. That we die, we cease to exist. That's it. And there's just like there's no existence before we're alive, there's no existence for us after we're dead, and that's fine. But I do think that
there is existence before you were alive, but it wasn't you. That's all. Like other people existed.
I mean, there's no existence of the self.
Like people always ask me, what do you think happens when you die? I go, lots of stuff. I'm just no longer part of it.
Right.
But I think that what the reason why my journey kind of went off in this other direction is because I think some of our understanding of the universe at least means that because I was in the universe is forever changed on its event horizon because of
I agree.
Life. And I don't think
100%.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, that's
the universe would not be the same if you didn't exist, Simon. You are part of the universe's story, so to speak.
Yeah, and that, I think that to me sort of adds a little bit more weight to the morality of my existence. Like, in other words, it makes the moral consequences of my decisions, I think, somewhat more morally grave, for lack of a better word. But anyways, I want to let you all go. But I appreciate you like chatting with me about this stuff. I think you've raised some interesting counterpoints. I'm happy to if you put me on with whoever your moderators are again. I'm happy to give them my email address if you want to talk again in the future about this stuff, or or maybe I'll just call into your show in the future if you'd like.
Yeah, we can exchange deets at some point. I just don't. Not at the moment, but yeah, we can do that for sure. I've often told people my email is pretty simple. It's literally 604atheist@gmail.com. That's it. So if you want to send me something there,
maybe I'll reach out sometime.
Sure, that was great. Nice to talk to you, Simon. Great to talk to you, man. Thanks for calling.
Nice to talk to you. Very, 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 really great discussion. Thanks very much.
I see some fun conversations in our future, my friend.
I hope so. All right. Thanks again very much. Bye-bye.
No worries. Cheers.
Take it easy, man.
You too.
Wow. That sorry about that. Oh, yeah. So that was cool.
Yeah.
That was a really cool call.
It's like a last second thing. Like, all right, cool.
Is there another call? No, I'm not doing any more calls. Sorry. It's 7:30. I still got to make my lunch. I still got to eat something, and then I'm going to bed because I get up too damn early.
Right. Yeah, me too. I got to get up early.
All right. Thanks again, everyone, for hanging out in the chat, and thanks to all our patrons and our members as well, which they can run on the ticker. But I've already read them out, so you only get one out of me.
Sorry.
No, I'm kidding. They're great folks. So thanks, everyone. Until next time, guys, be good to each other, eh? Because there ain't no God going to bail you out of this one.
No.
This is Skeptic Haven. Let's talk.